Jamaica is still a Christian country. We know that because the anthem is a prayer. And the PNP is still a Christian party. Because with steadfast assurance, God will look down. It means something to be a Christian country because we should live by the principles of Christianity. And it means something to be a Christian party because we should be guided by the principles of Christianity.
Hello, 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 everyone. Good night, good night, good night. Thank you so much for joining me. I apologize to you all about being missing for so long, but sometimes it's overwhelming. Sometimes you have to. I don't know what's happening with this light thing. It just not stayed on. But I'm glad to be back. I am okay physically. Mentally, I've never been okay, but if anything, it has gotten worse. But I am fine, and God is good. Not complaining about anything. So thank you all so much for the prayers and the heal up and the link up and all that you the good wishes that you sent me while I was out of circulation for a little bit. This social media thing is sometimes you have to take away yourself from it. Believe me. Sometimes you have to go regroup and recharge and all the rest of it. So that's it. So I am back and we are in good shape. And what a week to be back. Huh? So let's start off properly. As you might notice, I brought with me a ribbon. I set up a ribbon and a bow because we're going to have a ribbon cutting ceremony. Now it's not a fancy one like Mr. Holness's own. And I never get to borrow Mr. Holness's big scissors. But it's a big thing. It's a ribbon cutting thing. And ribbon cutting means that something wonderful happened and you're celebrating it. So what are we celebrating to have this ribbon cutting tonight? We are celebrating that yesterday, Monday, June 2nd, 2025, the Rise United crew organized themselves into what Bunting called a farce of a protest. Now, while they were at that farce of a protest, something amazing happened. And that is, we recognize that just like February 2024, when the PNP base did not show up to vote for them, the PNP base did not show up at the farce of a protest. And we want to celebrate that, to understand that the PNP base still know that they should not support these risers, these rise candidates. And so we want to celebrate with the PNP base this wonderful, momentous, stupendous, splendacious, that's splendid, wonderful, splendacious, moment where we know that the PNP base, they're not nothing with Mark Golden. So if you join with me, when I went to drink over water, me have, you want to join with me? I didn't get to borrow Mr. Holness's big scissors, so I only have a small one. So count with me now. 1, 2, 3. Yay! There. We had a ribbon cutting ceremony. And Mark Golden don't like ribbon cutting ceremonies, but we do. And it's something wonderful. How are you doing? How are you all? I trust you're all good. As I said, I'm okay. I'm good. God is good to me, not complain about a thing. And we have so much things to get through tonight. So many things to get through. So many things happening, so many things that have happened already. And we need to, while we have some fun tonight, it is my intention to also refocus you all about what this mission is about and what our responsibilities are as bloggers and listeners and viewers and PMP and JLP And I'm talking about authentic PNP, not risers, and JLP, and to all Jamaicans. And part of my job is to ensure that while we have some fun, and while we laugh and giddy and go on with all the things that we need to go on with, we also spread good information, and we also ground people so that they can understand that this year is an important election, the most consequential of our lifetime, and they need to be focused, laser focus on that. And so while everything else is happening and we're going off on a whole heap of things, I intend to refocus everybody tonight about all of that. So without further ado, let us begin. As you can see, I have basically 16 pages of talking point, but don't get forlorn by the talking points are so 15 pages long. They are huge in printing and stuff, and that is why they are 16 pages long. Now, the only way to start this is simple. From the beginning of Mark Golding's tenure as president of the People's National Party and leader of King Charles III opposition in the parliament, it has been clear to all of us that he intends to gain power, more power, because he did it to gain power, the PNP, but he intends to gain power as leader of this country through any other means other than a free and fair elections. He has been spouting this whole argument about getting wicked pandem and badmanism and me a junglist and a jungle me come from. All of those code languages he has been using to incite warfare, civil warfare, political violence. All of it was subtly geared at doing that. His hope was that he could have rekindled some of the fervor of political opposition to each other and hatred towards each other that we experienced, from the 1970s, 80s, probably early 90s, until Mr. Siaga and PJ decided that it's time to put that down. But he has been haggling for that, his utterances, the things that he said, and he uses argument about him being a junglist. It's a code. It's a code to say that him have a whole heap of jungle, man. It's a code to say that him can rise up this or him can rise up that and him can start something. It has always been a code. And we have been talking about it for the last 4 years plus. That is what him arguing for. The funny thing about that, however, is this. He decided him going to have a protest. And him clearly was confused, can't really know what the protest is about. Him saying one thing, him general secretary saying the next thing, everybody saying a different thing. And the first thing about warfare, since I look to create a war, you would think that a man that create a war would have at least studied how to bring war. And the first thing about going to war is that both you and your soldiers them have to be in uniform so they can identify each other. So the army have to be unified in terms of uniform and look. Everybody have to be, up in the same gear, have on them dog tags just in case somebody get dropped. We know who it is because everybody have on the same uniform. And the man going to war without uniform. So that's the first thing. Everybody in a different things. The leader in a white shirt, and somebody take a Jamaican thing and swamp on that white shirt. We need to find that person and charge them for treason, for using the Jamaican flag or the Jamaican colors to create a color for Mark Golding shirt. So him coming a white and a little piece of Jamaica in a Jamaican hat. Now that is the first strange thing about a war. Because this is supposed to be the general leading the war. And in every war that I've read about or seen on television or seen action in terms of other countries, the general have on him uniform to identify himself. And me the general for the army. Me have on my uniform, the army have on the uniform just like me, except that me have on some more stuff from my pocket, and the army, no, the rest of the army don't. So this general turn up in plain clothes, and him lieutenant them, him when call him pedophile general secretary again, in the juggling, him right under the juggling in a dark color, bluish, blackish, whatever kind, grayish kind of shirt. Raymond Price him in a similar color. Philip Paul in a similar color. Dana Scott, who's a vice president, in a white. I mean, when the preacher was preaching about spirit of confusion, if this wasn't it, then I don't know what is. I mean, you're going out to war because you care about, you know, as a general, and you say, you have 72 hours. Me have give you 72 hours to do this, or me going to do that. And then you turn up with the army, you don't have on a uniform, them not have on a uniform, and everybody confused as to what exactly they're going to fight. What battle they're going to fight and what for. Nobody knew. But we'll soon get to that. But we'll start from the beginning. Oh, just infantile and childish this farce of a protest was. And when it finished yesterday, I lied on that thinking to myself, I said, does anybody know what this was about? So I'm turned up in a civilian clothes, and the whole line soldiers them turn up in different code of civilian clothes. So nobody don't know where's that. The people who turn up in a regular army gear, them lost and confused beyond understanding, because them leader in a plain clothes, civilian clothes, them general in a civilian clothes. And that's the first principle of a war. You're uniformed. And you're not a uniform. You hide from your uniform because you're confused. You don't know exactly what you want and what you're doing and what you aim to achieve. So that leads to confusion. You turn up without that. Then the second thing about the war, since you are look war, and you give people 72 hours, and now you come out to start a war, you come without weapon. And I don't mean that literally, I don't mean knives and guns and stones. You come without weapon because you don't know what to say. Everybody's saying different things. You gave 72 hours and you said the reason why you're giving the 72 hours, and then the 72 hours came and you came to war and you forgot what the battle plan is, or you never had a battle plan. You were just mustering and, you know, stupefying all of us about how you can give ultimatum of 72 hours and you care about it, did all of that, and you look stupid. So you're not a uniform, you're not a battle plan, and you don't have a talking point. Everybody doing a different thing. I've never seen anything so stupendous in my life. I have never seen anything like that. Now, that said, in terms of an army and a war, you went out and you got some people and you tell them to come join the war with you. And I'm going to tell you all what happened yesterday morning. Because that farce of a protest failed in spectacular fashion. So here I am yesterday morning. Watering my plants, looking after my bird and my dog, and everybody gone out. Is only Susie wanted them. Susie leave out about 10 minutes after me start all of that. Brush up the little leaf them in the yard, because I prefer to sweep the yard at nights. So in the morning, it's just very little leaves and stuff. And me doing all of that. Then me hear one halabaloo, one coaster bus coming down. You know, the PNP song I play. And, you know, I pause for a second and listen. And the coaster bus came, and it took about 5-6 minutes to turn. Now, there's Blueberry, there's a square, there's Wilmot Drive. the place pretty much clear. Him can turn fast, him can turn in a minute. Why? Most people gone. People got to work. No car, no dead, no vehicle, no dead. Very few vehicles are there. Him can turn easy. But still, him take about 5 to 6 minutes. While he was turning, him back up in a Wilmot Drive, and so he was facing my wall where I'm standing, and he said to somebody in the vehicle, now yes, a current class here is noted. Apparently the person probably answered him. I didn't hear the answer, but I don't know what the person answered him. But anyway, him turned. And him start, him park the bus if you have good 3-4 minutes with the PNP sound blasting. Now under normal circumstances that the PNP, let's say the PNP, because we know it's a rise thing, that the PNP going to have a protest. And everybody hear about this protest because the general for the army just gave the government 72 hours ultimatum to do something or even going to do something. That's the ultimatum. So normally this is true, lad. When a coaster drop down and PNP song a play, everybody a fly out. But the strangest thing happened. Not even the dog in the orange shirt came out. Not even the dog in the orange shirt came out. Him play music, him turn it up, him slow, him park up. I mean, nobody. And people there. People gotta work, but people there. There's Khalid and Malik, them and you over there at work, and Damian and Sister and Debbie. Everybody there. Where are we there? We're not gonna work. We are doing what we're doing. Not a soul came out of the yard to find out what that's about. Your people are wrong. You know, nobody say, hold on there, me drink a cup of tea, me soon come to left me can't find my shoes, warm me my PNP shirt. Those are the normal things you would hear when a vehicle turned up to put a protest. Nothing. Zero. Not even and we have lots of dogs. Lots of dogs in Jerusalem. Everybody have at least 4. I swear to God. We have 2. But lots of dogs. And not even one of the dogs in the orange shirt the pull out. Nobody. But let me back that up a little bit for you. Because it is even stranger than that. Sunday night. Out by my ice cream shop. Now, it appears to me from a few weeks ago that the bar, which is basically beside the grocery shop, which is beside the ice cream shop, them probably running a little round robin. Them set up some little round table and music a play and all kind of people from all kind of places come and everybody a drink and stuff. So I noticed from about 2-3 weeks ago that on a Sunday night them having this thing and them playing the music low. Them don't want to aggravate me. And I'm waiting for me to close, for me to lock off all the lights outside that the shop can lock off and give them kind of half darkness that they need for those things. So I noticed them waiting on me. I still waiting on a couple of customers. I would have liked to close at 9 o'clock to give them the place and do what I do. But I'm wait for me. And when the guy finally came when we were going to come, about his girlfriend, that was about 9:15. So I decided I'm going to close at that time and go down. But before that, a young fellow came in the shop named Gary Lawrence. And he said he want 2 ice cream. He said Patrick Roberts sent him to buy 2 ice cream. And him have the money. And when I showed the first ice cream in the cup, him do have all the money. His money short. And I said, well, that can only buy 1 ice cream and I give a change, you come out of a shop. You know, it's fun, we're having fun. And him say, but auntie, a God's wanted, you know, a Patrick Roberts, you know, so if you just said it to him, I said, I don't know who that is. Who is that? I don't know him. I don't know him. Who names him? He said, I count someone a Patrick Roberts, I don't know him, and I trust my ice cream to people I don't know. Why did I do that? Because I not see him from my birthday. He was here from January 18th on my birthday. Slaughter Road said, Francine, them eat my pudding. And we not see him from them. Every time somebody asks him them ears him, they are foreign. So I've not seen him. So that's a cold soul I was giving him. I said, well, I want ice cream. I sell him 1, 2, and send the rest of the money. I not trust in the ice cream. I not know him. I not trust people in the ice cream. I not know. So I not give him attitude. Then, shortly afterwards, I close the shop. And I'm coming down. Now, the bar having a thing. I want you to hear me out here, because this will lead to what happened with that protest, you know. That tell you what happened all over the corporate era with that protest. And this is the only mark to tell you why it happened the way it did. The bar play them local music. The guy who owned the place beside the bar bragging. He play music from about 10 o'clock in the morning, and he play music for Sunday night, loud and ray and go out, all kind of things. When them things start, he probably turn it off, I don't know. But he must play music. She played music, because they have them round robin. Danny have him TV set up, and all of the man them when either have woman or TV, was sitting out there, watch TV and cowboy and karate show. Them there, it's everything nice. So me I come down now. Turn the corner coming down. Right where we plant the palm trees and the bench them. I saw Patrick Roberts sitting there. Now I'm going to see him from January 18th, you know. From January 18th, we don't be old, we don't come up at the corner. The corner is him corner spot. It's the only place him can come sit down comfortable. Nobody now rush him out, nothing, because that's soul. No business with him. And we don't see him, because we have them there for it. Never make a talk, he them there for it. When me look, now him alone sit down on the bench. A launch off, him alone sit down on the bench. Pan him phone. Him alone. I would have came down. I found that is so strange. So hear this now. Him come to come see if him can mobilize some people to come go to this rise protest, farce of a protest. But I'm alone, so what a road. Now the strangest thing about that is simply this. When Patrick Roberts come and sit down out there, so it can't be alone. Massive amount of people. Everybody down the road here say, up here, nobody know why nothing, them just come sit down. And then the bingo table full of a man, over the next side with Jacob, yeah, they're full of a woman and man, the ball fields are rolling, everybody doing a teaser, all heap of people, then when Patrick Roberts come. But Sunday night, while he sat there, not even a dog in an orange shirt was sitting down with Patrick Roberts. Not even a mouse, him alone. I assume that Francine was there with him, because when them said come buy ice cream, one was supposed to be for Francine. But they just decided to make a bit flippant and go out creating for them. But I give them the ice cream coming and know him. That's him from January 18th. And him alone, nobody. Round the bar with them having the round robin. Who are the man round there? Who are them round there? Nobody no round there. All of the man who normally come hang out with him, the one of them disappear. Them don't have at a bar or them there something. Not a single soul was with him. Nobody. Why? Because them know where I come out. Them know where I come out. And them don't want to be a part of that. Now you see, if Patrick Roberts was doing something, and one person, Francine or one, tells her, the boss will come in and we're going to do something. Oh, they're packed before him come. 2-3 hours before him come. For him, they would have been there. But they knew. Nobody ever tell them nothing. Because I inquired and nobody knew. Nobody ever tell nobody say, they hear the thing about the protest, but so you ask some main man some question. So they know that Patrick Roberts up there. Yeah man, we don't say him there, we see the vehicle and ray pass down the road and ray. So the question has to be asked, beg to be asked. Why was he alone? Why he was all by himself himself sitting down on one bench where him LPF and putting it. Why? And nobody not with him and no protest. Nobody now go up and no protest with him. That is why the vehicle came the morning, a blur out PNP song, and not even the dog in the PNP shirt to come out. Now I assume, before I knew for sure, I assumed that the bus itself was empty. But it was the driver and one other man. So the bus went down Edley Avenue. And in the twinkle of an eye, you hear to come back up Edley Avenue. And I said to myself, at the speed that it went down Edley Avenue and came back up, they can't have picked up anybody. Or at least maybe one, maybe two at best. Only to be told last night that no, a 2-man go for the bus, you know. So them not to do, so they go out there. So I assume that Patrick Roberts probably send the bus down a Balcom Drive and Seaward Drive and wherever. I don't know if he got people from there, so I have not spoken to anybody from it. But nobody from Jewsland left for that protest. Of course, later on, after the bus gone, Francine came back from her business and she and her husband loved the excitement. But them are Patrick Roberts people. Maybe them feel them don't want to let him down, so them go. When Patrick was leaving, no, it's not two guys went on the bus, it's two girls went on the bus. Because the two girls, when I asked them last night, what did they tell you that you're going out there to protest about? Them said they don't really know, you know. Them said them just go because the man them say them want to get to them as a oldness. So them just go. Them go because when them go, the man them at the bus say, well, get to the oldness, man. So them jump on. Two women, is that two man? Them just jump up on the bus. Because man them say, you know, them get to them as a oldness. So there you go with that. And nobody, not even a mouse. And Patrick Roberts came and he sat down on the bench and nobody was there with him. Everybody knows him come and Mark Golding's business and nobody in Mark Golding's business with him. That was quite something to see. You have no idea how illuminating it was for me to watch him alone sit out there while people drinking and partying. Nobody to come down. Normally, something like that go on. Somebody come check him, and he would have go check whoever in charge of the round robin and say, all right, run a tab for me for X. Nobody no sit down with him. Nobody no check him. Nobody no go around there. Him alone. Him alone. Can't nobody know hear about him and no damn protest. So they did organize an empty bus, practically, to go to this farce of a protest. And if that don't tell us all what we need to know, I don't know what else could. Because just this one in Jewsland here, I could surmise that maybe nobody or one or two at best from Seaward Drive, and certainly at that hour the morning at Balcom Drive, people busy, things are going. People busy, people have things to do and places to go and people to see and place to go hang out. Nobody have the time for that. And that explains why the majority of the people that was there yesterday are the right people that them recruit to join groups and come from Mark Golding constituency and maybe Julian brought some. Those are not the PNP base. The PNP base in February 2024 stayed home from the local government elections. I will keep telling them that the PNP base did not show up for the elections. Every place that we stopped, the cluster managers said it. Welcome, Karen. Yeah, man, what people come from vote? What about people? But you know, come we don't see the regular people, them, you know, what are you so? The whole of this so. Every place that we stop, from 8 miles to East Central St. Andrew, to down Edith Dalton, every place that we stopped, the PNP base did not show. And likewise, which is why we had a ribbon cutting ceremony tonight, to prove to you, to thank the PNP base, that the PNP base have already decided that they're not showing up for the RISE candidates. They're not showing up for this RISE United inside the People's National Party. And we commend the PNP base. Now, I don't pretend to know more than anybody else, but I can tell you this, what I know of my years of experience. Had the PNP base showed up yesterday, it would have been incontainable. But the PNP base not going nowhere. I knew from election day, local government election, that the PNP base did not show up. And I knew that they were not going to show up. And I know now that they're not going to show up for those RISE candidates in the coming elections. I know that for a fact. They couldn't get nobody out there. We called some people up in Stacey night. It was a Stacey night down there. I mean, just about shoot the breeze about some things. Patricia Duncan Sutherland went down there with maybe 2 span in her car. No more than 2 span in her car. Maureen Weber could not call anybody. money in a Grandspan and say, "You rent a car." There was a time when Maureen could call Grandspan man and say, "You rent 2 cars and come down and so." She couldn't do it. So even if she attempted it, it never happened and it would not have happened. Them then are not with them. Could not. I don't know. Paul would have turned up with film crew. There's a crew of people that just walk up and down with him. Because he can't organize a most of the people come out here. At all. So he would have. Julian would have organized a couple of people, him and Civic. I do not know if Angela was successful in getting people to go out there. We're going to dig deep into all of this. Because we intend to find out how many people turned up from these places at this stage. How many? I supposed to talk to a couple of people from Western St. Andrew today, and every time them call, I tell them I call them back and I didn't. But we're going to get to the bottom of it because I know the PNP base did not turn up. And that said, as a result of the PNP base not showing up, who showed up? The generals and the general officers and all of them showed up in them different color gear. It's an army like Joseph coat of many colors. It's an army of confusion. The spirit of confusion was reigning in that army because the general never had no uniform and the officers them never had no uniform, and I don't know what they were trying to pull. Except that I go back to my original argument. They will continue to feel spectacular. They will continue to do these things that we would consider not normal, but strange. But they will continue to do them because they're working for the devil. And they're going to make sure they do these things. So none of it is surprising to me. So I heard Cliff, you said something today. I want to get into the rest of it. But I heard the messaging. Let me go straight into the messaging. I will talk about what Cliff, you said earlier today. The motive, the message, the reason, the participants of that so-called protest. The motive, the message, the reason, and the participants. The motive, to generate the motive, I tell you this, it might sound strange to you all, but it has absolutely nothing to do with Dennis Chung. The Dennis Chung thing was just so we get something here, because see if we can make this work. Yeah, we can use this. We can use this. We can get something. We need something. Motive. The message was to see if them could use this, get Peter Phillips to put out him voice note, say him coming, he would mobilize the crowd because the people will come with him, and if them successful at it, the rest will be history. The reason is something more sinister, something more ad hoc, something more disorganized, that not even a little piece of crap in there, a little piece of 10-year-old crap in there could have organized something so infantile and childish and stupid. Reason. Nothing. We have nothing. Not a thing we have. We don't have nothing left. We have played all our hands. Our cards are done. We don't have nothing. The only thing we have left out of the card pack are the jokers. So let us play the jokers. Let us see if we can get Peter Phillips half of my money, because I am assuming Peter Phillips must charge our money for that foolishness for everybody. I mean, not beat up Peter Phillips under no circumstances. But I hope him charge my money. Let's get Peter Phillips. Let's convince him to do this thing. We could go out there and make him pretend he's the leader. Mark, you stand up behind him. Make him first start. And you say, yeah, behind him. And look like an idiot. Let's go get him. Because we are smarter than all of them. Remember how we kill him politically. So we could just rope him in back and promise him some things and give him something and make him come. And you, Mark, you stay there, son, and you, pedophile, Leighton, stay there, son, and Bunting, you come talk about what a farce of a protest it is. I make Peter Phillips talk. Come big him up, make him feel like I'm the leader. Because every one of us are idiots. No one have sense. Praise the Lord for having no sense. The participants. I heard the thing that Cliff Hughes did. And Cliff Hughes nailed it right on its head. And that message from Cliff Hughes is a message that we have been preaching for 4 years. And I want to repeat my take on it, adding to what Cliff Hughes said, and spread it out a little bit thinner for you. Because I can say some things that Cliff can't say. Him is a respected journalist in Jamaica. I am barely a YouTuber. Hardly YouTubing. So let me spread it out for you, so that the whole of you can see it and all of you can understand it. And it is specifically targeted at the Jamaican voting population that tends to take themselves and each themselves for a corner and say, that vote, why am I voting for? Not voting for this. That, well, can't be bothered, voting no make sense. And me. But listen, when you refuse to participate in the process that governs you and your life, then what you are left with are people who are lesser than you. Then you ended up being governed by your inferiors. Look at the people that they spoke to, TVJ and RJ spoke to at those protests, asking them why they came. Well, you know, why we come? Look at those people, because those are the people who are going to make that decision for you, who love to talk about your vote. And you're voting, and some of you don't care, because some of you are worse than even them. So you don't mind having buffoons and illiterate dunce people elect your leaders for you, so you can stay home. But this is mostly directed at Mr. and Mrs. Upper Class and Mr. and Mrs. Upper Middle Class. Those who live under the hill, those who live in the middle of the hill, and those who live on top of the hill. Because we can also influence people. This is what you are left with. Ignorant, ill-informed, dunce people telling you that they left them yard at 8 o'clock in the morning because some politicians in an orange shirt, some dog, tell them they must come, and they go here and people ask them a simple question: why are you here? Tell me, why you left your damn yard this morning? Why you wake up at 8 o'clock and rush to pick them to school if you did? Why you left your yard? Because some of them didn't be in. And me take it right there. Me carry it all the way there. Some of them didn't be in. You know how me know that? My little crew. When we call them and say, what, we don't reach out yet? We're going now, boss. We're going now. No, we're right now. When them reach, them call me back. You about with there, man. Some say with the dog them there. When they don't laugh. And we say something that don't want to laugh. We don't do that laugh. She called me back. We're out here, boss. Yeah, man, we're out here. We see them, man. Yeah, but enough of them still enough. Some say with the dog them there. Here she to me now, no? Them a count them. I say, what? Them a do what? Them a count them. I say, you mean that actually go to count what people there? She said, yes, them a count them. But count them. You left your yard. And them tell me some of them not be. Some of them frowns and smell piss off. But let me tell 2 things first. You left your yard. And you went to a protest, a so-called protest. And because the people who mobilize you and encourage you and give you that $2,000 or $3,000 to leave your yard don't count you. They don't business how you think. Your ignorance and your lack of education and information is what they need you for. So they just bring you and you just go. And you don't care. And you come on national television looking like an idiot. Or you're picking them seat and laugh for your ass. I said, my mother's an idiot. You're embarrassed to pick them. Uno two way the per TV attack, so uno know what come there for. Uno don't know nothing. Uno know what fit is. Uno know nothing about Daddy Strong. I want to pick them soon and laugh with the Tuscan. I want to come to soon and laugh with the Tuscan. What dumbass, stupid, dunce people is. I mean, nah, hold back. Because, uno, black people, sit down there, have a look at white, British, Jewish man, and run rings round uno. Again, after what they did to your 4 parents, you see some idiots. And uno get to make the choice for many of us. Uno, for the vote. You left your yard, and you go there, and you don't have a clue. Why you left your yard? You don't have a clue. You don't have no sense to ask question. None of you could ask a question. So what is feed? What is feed? What is FID? So what me I go out there go do? Because I could live with a man say, you know what, say, me don't really know what me come out for. Me just hear that thing and go and come out and me just want to make some nice. I can live with that. I could live with that. The man could just see a bus and them say, come. And say, yo, me get opportunity for make some nice. Worse like for me to go down to the ministry there. So, and worse like for me to do that and that never happened to me and then get some work. Never make some nice. I can live with that. That's a logical argument. But you don't know nothing. You don't know what nothing is. Where you go? You know your orange thing. And I make up nice. Because this British white man tell you that you should. That you went and embarrass your community, embarrass your people, them, embarrass your family, embarrass yourself. I'm going to play that clip over and over again so Jamaican can people can see what a dunce idiot the 12 is. Where are going to come from? Oh no. Make people drag you to this thing. And then, in the middle of all of that, I asked myself, we're going through the video, Michelle and I, going through the video, and it dawned on us. It hit us like a ton of bricks that looking at that crowd of people, there was nobody there under 45. Not one. Not a single soul there. The youngest person's there. Probably is the Gambler side chick. No, not when call her side chick. Nikisha Burchell. I promised the woman in my life that I will call her. Nikisha Burchell. And they probably would have never the youngest person there. The older people that came because Peter Phillips tell them, so I can imagine that whatever they did to get Peter Phillips to come, they smelled the rat. They knew that they would not be able to bring out a body. They needed Peter Phillips to do that, to bring out some of the old stars, and he did. So there are 10 people down there apart from them. Not one young person. And that alone within itself clarify some things and support the polls by Blue Dot that young people have left them. And remember, they had like a 5-point lead in the young people before them went into the local government elections. 2 months after the local government election, they were at a 4-point deficit. The Blue Dot poll basically just backed that up. So the young people gone, left them. But remember, the young people weren't exactly with them, you know. Young people went out and voted in the local government elections because they were shouting at the top of them lungs that if them come out, come vote, they're going to get rid of Brogan. But when the young people then wake up 2 weeks after, they realize Brogan still run things, they're not with them. They can't get them back. But there are other reasons too why the young people didn't show up. Not going to talk about those reasons, but there are other reasons why they couldn't get the young people out. A group of old fogies, and I have nothing with old fogies because I'm an old fogey, turned up. No young people. None. Them don't have no battle plan. Them don't have no uniform. Them don't have no uniform message. Spirit of confusion reigning. And then the army that went in there to stage a protest never only didn't come with a uniform, crew, or some weapon. They never even come with paraphernalia. And I've never seen, every time I use that word, I've never seen. I need to stop doing it. It was the most ridiculous sight to watch. Edgar Robinson and our sidekick, she always have a sidekick or two. Now, Edgar Robinson's one was PNP, who drive up with a whole bunch of things of your vehicle. Liquor, food, medical equipment, and PNP colors. Always. And I watch this video, and I see Edgar Robinson with our sidekick pulling off the green things them that wrap round the light post them. Apparently the laborers them wrap them round. Rightly so. Before Uno come, wrap them round. And the only thought that could have come to Edgar's mind or any other mind was to take them down in an election campaign. where to go to protest, and all we're doing is complaining. Steve McGregor in a white shirt, in a field constituency, in Navan, no uniform, not identify himself with whatever it is that him supporting or bigging up, because whatever the spirit of confusion was that led you all to believe that you should wear different color shirt and go with all kind of things and spouting all kind of different message and did not educate the people that you bring. Well, Master don't want the people educated that him bring. He don't want them educated. He want them to remain dots. And I'm so disappointed in people like Julian Robinson. I can't even begin to tell you how disappointed I am in Julian Robinson. And Edgar Robinson proceeded to take down the people them green material that cost a whole of money. Them should ask her for it. Them should demand, the JLP need to call the political ombudsman and get back with the material and money on the spend fee. So no one back, I will want back on the money fee. I will not play. That they shall not play as a war not rage. What could inspire you as a political operative to go pull down the people them green material off of the light post? Remember you start the war, you know. If you want war, you come to the battle and you don't bring your own. All you need is to bring your own and tie your own punch up for their own, pretty up the place. But your thing was to pull out theirs? What is wrong with these people? You don't come with nothing. And because you don't come with nothing, your bad mind, and I tell you people things, because that is pure dirty bad mind. Because it's not your light post. And my light post and everybody else that pay taxes when them go to the supermarket. And our light post. What the hell is wrong with you? I check out the people, their material off of the government light post. It's a government light post, a JPS light post. I don't know if it's JPS light post, I might play light post, JPS thief all the while. And all you could do was take it down. And you couldn't find a piece of orange cloth to wrap around the top. I met the Jamaican people pass by and see them, and they don't think of nothing but yourself. Nothing. On the stupid and on the buffoonery, on the stupidity is going to be the death of you. I take down the people, them green material, when them go out there, go wrap around the public light posts. And that is what you spend your morning doing. While Steve McGregor, in his constituency, in a white polo shirt like a thief, because you represent people and your color is orange, and you come in a white shirt, you're a damn thief. You must be some kind of criminal. What are you trying to be inconspicuous? Why is it you're trying? What is it? I'm confused. Me don't know what did I do. The whole of confused because it's strange. It's just strange, and we just can't imagine what could have taken all of the senses. Can't do that. Me never ask what to control a Peter Phillips to make him go there. I'm not even asking that. But I don't tell me Peter Phillips. But Edgar Robinson take down the people their material. And on behalf of the jail people put up their material, I want it back. Give people their material. If you can't people material, go give them. And stop while like you're a bad woman and take on the people material. Can you never come the piece of orange cloth to tie around the light post? Can you imagine how pretty the light post I look now? Going down that end. Everybody look out and see. Oh, that one that there's that one that there's and the brain is so limited. It's like hatred and power eat out every little part of the brain was supposed to have sense. And you believe that it was a wise idea to turn up and pull on the other party stuff, but you don't bring none. I shall go back out the evening. That's true. Me feel up to it. I shall go out the evening and hang up them material. And that you do. The motive, the message, the reason, the participants. All of that would have only led to one inevitable result. And that is zero. Nada. I put nothing. There is nothing. You never pick up one vote. Not even one vote you don't pick up for that fiasco. That farce of a protest. Michelle, play that thing about it, so please. That farce of a protest.
We will not allow that to happen. This farce of a protest. This farce of a protest.
again. Play it again, Michelle. This
We
fast.
will not allow that to happen. This farce of a protest, this farce of a protest.
The Blue Dot poll has confirmed what we knew to be true. The young people, them, God left them. The PNP, the risers, them, have lost the youth vote. Assuming, of course, that the youth had intended to vote. And them complain about the green cloth, and them start telling people them green cloth, and Steve McGregor and them white shirt like a thief, complaining about who did get permission. Lord Norman Manley, where are you? Lord Norman Manley. Norman Manley. So you done PNP people, including the one who was stopped me today down on the boulevard. So now I was stop me with some foolishness. Let's see if we can help him. Dennis Chung was appointed by the place name again? The Services Commission. They are the ones who hired him. Not Mr. Wallace. Mr. Wallace didn't hire nobody. Nobody in the JLP didn't hire Dennis Chung. You now listen to me, you two dons one, when they're on TV, because you see camera and mic, on this side, so long I'm making yourself famous, we're making you more famous now. FID is the financial investigation, what is it, department, whatever it is. Me don't know neither. The financial investigation department. Dennis Chung applied for the work. He did. Fill out one application form, submit his resume, subject himself to an interview like all of us would have to. And he got the job. Now, Mark Golding and Peter Bunting and Peter Phillips know too. I'm going to take Peter Phillips to task about one thing and one thing only tonight, because I'm going to tribute him at the end of this about his last presentation in Parliament. The man applied for the work to the Services Commission. You don't know what that is? And yeah, you know what the Services Commission is? On the leaders, I want to know that, you know. Because if you're too bright and start ask too much bright questions, you might not come out, come vote for them. Matter of fact, if you're too bright and know too much things, I am sure they're not going to vote for them. Dennis Chung applied for the job. I don't know how many other people applied for the job. Fill out an application form, submit his resume, and I would imagine the resume big. He used to work at JMMB, I think. And he got the job. They gave him the nod. They hired him. And your leaders, they know that. They know. Mark know. Peter Phillips know. Bunting know. Leighton the pedophile know. They all know that is the process. But they choose to mislead you because they know you're an idiot. Them can't be fair with you. Them can't be upfront with you and say, listen, every opportunity we get, we're going out there, we're going to beat them up for something. Them can't be honest with you about that. Them can't be honest with you and say, we think that this is a good argument because God wants to beat you up. Why is he not qualified? Mark Golding disrespect the big man and said the man is just an accountant. Just an accountant. The same way I'm called the JLP man, little boy, the little woman. Nasty mouth, dirty white man. Shoot out some of the poisonous ones them. That's on talk about people when thinking in class. Him is just an accountant who applied for the job. He never tell you that. He never tell you that is a Services Commission. He never explain to you what the Services Commission. You know, go ask them. Go ask them. All of that was there today. Ask them. What is the Services Commission? What do they do? How him get the work? Go ask them. How did he get the work? How did he know about him? Mr. Otis did that give him a work. Mr. Otis can't give him the work. Although I wish that was the case. And get the work. And your leaders, as politicians, have an opportunity to ask the Services Commission some questions. You should. I would. How do I arrive at this? You have to make nice about it, you know. But you could too, because an election season, you want to make nice about just about everything. You want to make nice about. You want to hear people hear you make nice. But you can't be honest about it. You have to be underhanded about it. You have to behave the way you are because of your character, because of who you are. That's the way you have to behave. You not tell the people them the truth. But I love to repeat it. Mark Twain said it. It's easy to lie to people. It's hard to convince them that they are being lied to. When the leaders consistently lie to me, I'm going to turn myself for that idiot. About that run, go to a hero circle where we heroes them, we're going to make an ass out of themselves. Our heroes them must be very disappointed in all I know. If never ask it, all them do open me mouth and ask the Services Commission one question. All now them do write a letter to the Service Commission and say, we are not happy with this appointment. Could you provide us with some information as to how you arrive at this? All now them do that. No, they are leading you, the dunce idiots, to believe that is Andrew Wallace hire Dennis Chung. And you, the damn idiots you are, decide that you believe them. Can you believe them? God up, never can ask yourself. Them not ask the Services Commission nothing. Now, should we want the Prime Minister to break the law? Because that's what they're asking the Prime Minister to do, break the law by telling the Service Commission, don't hire him. Now, at that time, we don't support them lock up the Prime Minister if him do that. We don't support them lock him up because that is a blatant breaking of the law. It's only the Service Commission to do that. They not tell you that. You're too dumb to know that. So they not tell you. And so, they chose not to tell you these things. They make an answer yourself. But if you don't ask the Service Commission not yet, well, let us keep moving. Nobody asked the Service Commission anything. What did they say that Dennis Chung did? Why them so up in arms about him? Now what them I say don't make no sense. Because they said that he was out defending an argument against the IC as to how they handled the Prime Minister's declaration. He did, as a Jamaican citizen, as a man with a whole lot of thoughts in his head by himself, which are his own, and him not tethered to anybody or any particular organization. He can come out and defend something the same way me come out and come chat up my mouth. And when the IC was going out with them shenanigans about the Prime Minister's declaration, the man went out and expressed in fear view like a Jamaican citizen and believed the well, I mean they're corrupt. He never said that. I may have said that. He never said that. But he questioned them. He questioned the conclusions that they came to regarding the Prime Minister's declaration. The same way you out there question the so-called 28 bank book of the Prime Minister don't have a same thing. And they're saying that because he expressed his opinion as a free Jamaican citizen, he's not entitled to apply for a job, meet the requirements for the job, and get the job. That's what they're saying. That's their argument. They have no other argument. Now, Dr. Phillips, and this is the only probably negative thing I have to say about Dr. Phillips in this matter, because Dr. Phillips made a serious error in judgment yesterday morning. When he said that our international, I need to get the wording right, our international financial something like that, let me get it right. He said that financial institutions, Lord of mercy. Michelle, I don't have that. I don't have the quote. I don't see it. So I'll wait until Michelle send me that quote. You have to send it to the other phone, Michelle, not the 431. But Dr. Phillips said something about Dennis Chung that the international, something to the effect that the international, let me say we can wrap it up in a layman term for you. What Dr. Phillips was saying is that Dennis Chung's appointment poses a threat to our international financial partners, our international standing in our financial industry, something to that effect. And I can't imagine for the life of me how Dr. Phillips could make such a statement, such a bad judgment statement, because if Dennis Chung should be, and I'm not encouraging him to, but let's say Dennis Chung could consider that as maligning in character, because unless Dr. Phillips have some kind of information that suggests that Dennis Chung in some kind of financial international entanglement with financial institution and the FBI investigate him, or some financial, the IRS and them are investigating for something, unless Dr. Phillips have some information towards that, what Dr. Phillips said yesterday is basically a dirty thing towards a man's character. And I'm not using those big words about impugning the man's character and all of that. I want to use the simple words. And basically saying that the man involved in things. And that is a dangerous thing, Dr. Phillips. I'm disappointed. And usually you're a man who makes statements that you don't know are facts. And I would imagine that if there are any such thing regarding that, Dennis Chung could not get the work. The Services Commission would not give him the work. And that is just such a nasty thing to say about the man. Is a threat to our financial judges. No, Dr. Phillips, that's a big mistake that. And my only advice to you, sir, with all due respect, I know I love you, is to quietly call Dennis Chung and apologize and say something to him, because I am not going to let it go. Can you say something that suggests that the man have financial entanglements? And that is not true. I checked. That is not, there's no truth to what you're saying. But then you were once the leader of the opposition. You were once the Minister of National Security. You might know something that I wouldn't otherwise know. But if you said that to please Mark Golding or to big him up, whatever it is you did, I mean, I hold you, I'm not quarreling with you for going down there and for doing what you did. Because I know you. I know you want to help. And I know you feel like you have some kind of obligation as a Norman manly man to help. Of course, I will never understand it. But that's you. You're brighter than me. So you know better than me, I would imagine. But I will never understand it after what they did to you. Because I know you don't seem to understand, Dr. Phillips, that it's okay to vex. It's okay to tell a man to F off and go jump off the one gully and go, your mother and whatever. It's okay when a man do the things that they did. And I'm going to talk about that when I give my tribute to you in your last parliamentary presentation. But there's another small thing to Dr. Phillips I would like to say. You have been missing from the parliament for years. You have not been to parliament. And we know you were not well at some point. And there are rules and regulations of the parliament in terms of elected parliamentary representatives. And you have not been. And if you can find the energy and the strength to go do voice note and video and then go out for Mark Golding farce of a protest, then maybe you need to start to go to parliament and represent people of East Central St. Andrew. Because this doesn't make no sense to nobody. Certainly not to me, and basic school me go, so may not have much sense. But Dr. Phillips going out there yesterday brought out some people, but it still never helped Mark Golding. Still never helped him. Because not everybody's stupid. Not everybody born on Tomfool Day. And people know where things are with that. And it is just baffling. And the dumb PNP people, them who know nothing, went out there and made themselves dumber. You go out there and make yourself dumber. So, the farce of a protest that Bunting is referring to was indeed a farce. A farce of a protest where the member of parliament for the era that the protest was held couldn't wear him shirt, and him spending time complaining to the news media. Say him did apply for a permit. And the JLP people them who was making, making a fart out there, never applied for a permit. I want to big up both sides for keeping it peaceful. Really, really good thing that. But I want to specifically big up the JLP people them who went on a counter protest and kept it peaceful. And I like how it was pointed about, what it was talking about. Birth certificate and citizenship of Britain and Melissa death, and Melissa got killed by Mark Golden, chief of security. Wow, I really had this thing going yesterday. And I'm big up for that. It was great. And that unnerved Steve McGregor. He spent the whole damn time not talking about Dennis Chung, not talking about corruption, but talking about the fact that him get the thing that the permit will never get done. And Edna Robinson took off the clock them for the light post. I should have the orange cloth to put up. I mean, I don't know. All we need for this now is a whole heap of clown outfit. And I mean, could have a clown show down there. But it was quite a show. But not very helpful. Let me pause a minute. Anybody see Dr. Dawes? Have anybody seen Dr. Dawes? Because the way Michelle beat Dr. Dawes, him eye supposed to black and blue, supposed to have him hand in a sling. Nobody see him? Dr. Dawes might do video, him look like, him look deflated. Boy, we just leave him to Michelle. And I suspect there's more. Because Michelle now stop licking until him head start bleed for being such an ass. That's all. Because Michelle, I suppose, Dr. Dawes, I've never met Jamaica 411. Well, you've met her now. Who are you? It's coming to you. All of it coming down. Now, polls. I never talk much about the polls yet, but I want to say this. In an amazing and extraordinary move that defies explanation or logic, the PNP have fired one washed up Don and hired a next to the polling. And is that we call it a washed up Don? Please remember, I said we just quoting. When Dan Anderson started putting out polls that Mark Golden was leading Andrew Holness, and that the JLP was leading, and that the PNP was leading the JLP, I came on several lives and I told you all it was a lie, a blatant, dirty lie. And I explained to you why I knew it was a lie. I reminded you that when Bunting became General Secretary of the PNP was the first time in his political life he figured in a polling. When his name started to turn up in polling data was when he became General Secretary of the PNP. At the time, his polling averaged about 2 to 3%. And then, voila, he might run for leader, and suddenly, Peter Phillips is 28 and Bunting is 35. Peter Phillips is 34 and Bunting is 37. And it went on and on and on. It was designed to convince you, the PNP people, that Peter Phillips can win. And that is why they did those polls and had Dan Anderson did those polls to say that Peter Phillips can win and Bunting can beat Andrew and Bunting can beat Peter Phillips. Of course, Peter Phillips beat him. They did these constant polls Every minute, the Rise United group was doing a poll to convince the PNP delegates and the Jamaican people that Peter Phillips can't win the election, and we all bought it. We did, all of us, including me, all of us thought that this was real. We thought it was real. Only to discover after he lost to Peter Phillips that it was not real. It never was, but it achieved the objective that they set out to achieve, which was to make sure you don't go out to vote. And you did not. It's the same people them who tell you not to go out to vote for Peter Phillips, so Peter Phillips go win, and them now ask you to go out to Mark Gold and go win. You must do them the same thing that they did. You must give them the same medicine, the very same medicine. But what do you want to, and not them going to get it? And so, those poll numbers were always fictitious. And I'm going to state this again. And I'm going to state it, and I state everything that I am on it. There was never, ever a time in any polling that Mark Golding was clocking more than 20%. Never, ever, ever, ever. The last time that he was clocking 14.7%, and then bam, 37%. What a stupid or something. Never, not even when Mr. Wallace was at his lowest, was Mark Golding ever clocking more than 20%, if so much. But I'm rounding it off at 20%. It's reasonable. Because he toured the island 150 times, and there was never a time when he clocking more than 20%. Never, ever, ever. I still believe that he's not clocking that. I don't know. I'm not beating up the polls. Not beating up by the poll. But I don't believe. And that is just my own political sense telling me that there was never a time in this country that Mark Gold is clocking more than 20%. And him saying name famous all over the country. We made that happen. That was our fault. But we had to have, to do what we're doing. And he still wasn't cutting it. And suddenly, it was 35 and it was 37. And they continued to pay Dan Anderson money to do these polls to fool you up, to keep you in line, to tell you that you're not going to win. And we're going to win 40 seats, and Dayton Campbell tell us we're going to win 13 out of 14 parish. That's what Dayton Campbell was saying. No, we're going to win 10 parish, at least 10 parish councils. We're going to win. I'm convinced of that when they won only 5, I'm trying to convince you that 5 is 7. I want to forget that he said, I tell you not going to win. Because with the memory short, and voters' memory short in general. So now, the Blue Dot poll came out. And it is so far the most detailed of polls that we have seen. And I've not gone into it in any details. And I'm going to tell you why, not right at this point, further down, why I have not gone into it in any details. But then again, the Jamaica Observer, and I don't know who set up Skeng, but must somebody set up Skeng. This can't be something that the Jamaica Observer just decide in mind that, yo, we hear that Skeng is the new pollster for the PNP, so we're going to talk to him. Not officer. As something said, somebody set up Skeng and tell him, said, new Observer want to talk to him, and he must go and go tell them and give them his arguments that the PNP is going to win 38 seats. And then 48 hours later, the Blue Dot poll shut it down. It was a classic setup. Somebody set up Skeng. So I'd come out here to come quarrel with Skeng about him prediction. But after the Blue Dot poll knocked him down, and I realized it was a setup. It's a Jamaica Observer and a Skeng. It wasn't the Dina. It wasn't Matalan. It was Bruce Stewart. Bruce Stewart then. It was Adam Stewart thing. A Jamaica Observer was Matalan. Come out about poll and consequences, and you made this ridiculous prediction and I found yourself in this predicament 48 hours later when real poll tell you that that's not going to happen. And everybody have this thing in their head about which constituency will win and which constituency will lose. So I want to say this without talking about the polls. Let me just say this about Skeng's prediction and probably round off in terms of what he had to say in the entire interview. I am not taking away anything from Skeng in terms of whatever little influence he might have in his corner of Manchester. But I'm telling you this, and I'm telling Skeng and every one of you this, every one of you that believe in yourself to be somebody that controls people, when they don't control a soul. When they might have some people around, you know, or they can tell go do something and then go do it. On election day, you might have staffed someone with a bag of money and get some people to do something you want to do. But nobody don't control anybody in terms of what people are going to vote and what people are going to do. That control that you all had some long time ago, you don't have a clue what is happening. You're clueless. But that's how power works, especially power like yours. You never ever believe that you have lost any of it. And you will never ever believe that it has waned. And you will never ever believe that there are some people who will talk behind the back and say, oh, the man can't listen to the man. Not listen to the man, you know. I listen to the man, the man can't tell me nothing. You will never believe that. But that exists. That's a reality that you probably never walk into or recognize one of these days. That is a reality. You just don't get up and talk about this and that and you can control nobody. I am predicting, and I'm not into political prediction, and I'm always careful about predicting. But you guys have absolutely no influence over the general electorate and how people are going to vote anywhere at all. None. And I'm predicting that Rhoda Crawford will retain that central Manchester seat, no matter what Skeng does and who he believes that he can influence. And I'm not taking away anything from whatever influence he has. I would like to think I have some influence over my dog. I'm a bird. I do have some influence over that. I didn't have no influence over a little 10-year-old piece of crap in here. But I mean, such is life. But I believe, and I will say it again, that Rhoda Crawford, among some others, must identify and know what exactly them doing in order to win back them seat. And they must do what needs to be done to make the voters know who their opponent are. They must, without a shadow of a doubt, they must define them. They have enough information to define them. You don't have to be rude. You don't have to cross a line. You just define them with the truth. Because that's how politics work and that's how my brand of propaganda work. You take that truth and you turn it into massive propaganda. And if Rhoda needs some help with that, call me. You take that truth and you roll it up like a ball. But you wrap everything in that one truth. And everything else that deviate and divert from that truth. And you put it in that truth box and send it out into the atmosphere. And let it roll and let it play. Yeah? And that is what you all should know. To do about the control. Nobody. Now, I don't know where I put this part of my notes down here, so because I forgot to go back down. With the Dennis Chung thing, some civil society people was running up their mouth. And I'm not interested in any of them, except one. My good friend George. George, how are you doing? I saw your thing about the civil society thing. You don't need to have a sit down one of these days, George. I'm going to back up George's argument. But I want to call out my friend, my very good friend, Carol Narcis. Somebody link up Carol Narcis for me, no? Carol, my friend. Did you hear what George said? Did you all heard what George said about civil society clothing themselves in this virtuous blanket? And when you pull away the blanket, George seems to the whole out naked. No. Carol Narcis, talk to me. George seems to you naked. When him pull away that shroud of performative outrage or getting all righteous on him. George, when him pull off the blanket, him see the whole out naked. No, when George say he saw you naked, Carol, him never look flushed. George never look flushed. He never look embarrassed when him say. So I'm thinking that maybe things are. Look how we can't set yourself up for liberty taking me. I not going to bust up the liberty from my friend Carol Narcis because I know you look good. But George say make it and him see the whole of your underwear, him see your panty, him see your slip, him see your brassiere, and he wasn't impressed, and that worried me. That really, really worried me, that George. I said that. But, you know, you're PNP, Carol. I don't particularly know if you're a supporter of Mark Golden, but you want them going into the argument about the dog in an orange shirt. I'm disappointed in you if that is it. That was never your thing, but I'm disappointed if that is the case. But George said so the whole of them make it. Him just take off the blanket, take off the whatever it is, the clothing on yourself, shrouding yourself in that pretty blanket, wrapping up on yourself in the education, speak is spooky. Oh, I could tell us I use that. And George said just rip it away. I said the whole of George, you're getting bad. George, you're getting bad. But Carol, here's what I want to say to you. I know that everybody want to throw in them little 2 pence worth into the argument with Dennis Chung being at FID. And I'm going to say this one thing about FID, and I know that nobody in news media can say it, and nobody in the Jamaica Labour Party can say it. But I can. So I'm going to say it. Come on, I mean some word about it. When a new president of the United States is elected, the only people in the White House, and the White House employs roughly 2,000 people, give and take. Any president that doesn't serve 2 terms straight never get the opportunity to really reappoint 2,000 people. But as soon as a new president is elected, November 5th, November 6th, everybody start pack up them desk. Start set up everything right, whatever them was working on, them leave it as it is, pack them back and leave. Almost 2,000 people in the White House. Every president that comes in, every one of them move out the next day after the president elected, before we move in January 20th. Them have 2 months to pack up and left out. And they do. And give the new president an opportunity to reappoint people. Now, most of those jobs have to do with administration, the president's policies, the president's interests, the president things, the president re-election, stuff like that. Some of it has to do with governmental affairs, some of it has to do with private sector, some of it has to do with civil service. Some of them are really civil servants. But the president of the United States has the ultimate authority to hire and fire people as he sees fit. There was a novel idea, which doesn't exist anymore, that the Department of Justice is an independent body where no president wants to mess with it. You appoint an attorney general and you let the civil servants and the appointed attorney general, who is a political appointee, who now has to act like him is a chief law enforcement officer for the entire America, not just the president who appointed him. But Trump threw that out from 2017 or thereabout, when the investigation started of him, and Jeff Sessions, his first attorney general, decided that he might recuse himself from things and not there to protect Trump's interest. Jeff Sessions, Trump appointed him, that white, Nazi-looking, racist white man. I would say Jeff Sessions come from Alabama. Him come from. Left his Senate seat and took up the job of Attorney General. And then, when the whole investigation started, the Russia thing and the rest of it, he accused himself as all good Attorney General should. But he forgot one thing, that this was no normal president he working for. And he should never recuse himself. He should never protect the president. That's what the president wants. And he never stayed. Trump fired him. But Trump never only fired him. He went back to Alabama and tried to run back for him old Senate seat. And Trump waged a war against him and him lose. I mean, a Senate seat which he held for decades. He couldn't win it back. The president also appoints all U.S. attorneys. And the U.S. Attorney Office is like about 93 or 94 of them, because the judicial district is about 93 or 94 judicial district in the United States. And each judicial district has a U.S. attorney. I also remember in 2017, Trump fired the whole of them. All of them, at the time, it was about 110 them. Trump fired them, all of them. Send one of them in the yard. I hire some new man. President have that authority. Trump also fired the IRS, the head of the IRS and the postal agency. Now, before Trump, those were agencies that people thought that no president now mess with them agency. Well, so they think. But, you know, behind the scenes, they're probably. But Trump is not a behind the scene man. Trump believed that he was the president. 71 million Americans elected him. And if him tell him to do something, damn well go do it. So hear what I'm saying. And I want Dennis Chung and all of the PNP and Mark Gold in them to listen to me carefully. If what you say is true, that Dennis Chung got the job because him going in there go ensure that whatever the IC was pushing for the Prime Minister's thing, and there's a whole thing I just really don't want to go through tonight. I just want to be simple about my argument right now. I'm saying this. I want everybody to understand me. If he's head off feed now, and the IC pass on the thing for him to investigate, he better do it quickly and exonerate the Prime Minister. I'm going to ask some of that. Even if you do it quickly, I need to exonerate the Prime Minister. That's a simple argument. Very simple argument. And civil society could have will and war and war until Jesus come. The IC was the ones who made that first mistake. Dennis Chung now have an opportunity to go correct it. And who might not want to say what you need to go correct it. Because we will not have an integrity commission that will enjoy the trust and faith of the Jamaican people ever again unless these wrongs are righted. It's a simple matter. They investigated the Prime Minister. They did not treat him the way that you should treat the Prime Minister. They treated him like he is just an ordinary member of Parliament, which he is not. And as soon as civil society and the rest of them wrap the head around that, the better it is. We must be the only damn place in the whole world who believe that civil society and some stupid commission set up by parliamentarians who are politicians think could have more power than that of the Prime Minister or that of the government. What is wrong with you? Remember, you know, it's not that them going to investigate the Prime Minister and find some hardcore evidence and present it to it and say, see there. What they did was an underhanded hatchet job designed by Mark Golden to bring down and to honest. And everybody saw that it is exposed. So it can't hide anymore. Then for us to do the investigation and throw it out and exonerate the Prime Minister. Not two way about it and don't take long about it neither. And yes, some people will want to make nice and brave them holier than thou and climb on them pedestal and shout at the top of them lungs because they are the moral Puritans. People like Carol Nassif. Don't try that, Carol Nassif. Stay out of it. Stay out of it. The whole of them need to understand that you can't get up every damn day and believe that you don't have more power than Parliament or believe that the Prime Minister of the land. I mean, not just talking about Andrew Wallace. Any Prime Minister. You can't just believe that the Prime Minister, you can't get up and chat crap about the Prime Minister and put out things in the country that people have the Prime Minister as a crook. When there's no evidence at all to back it up. And then all on sit down quiet and talking about man don't forget the work. Because man don't forget the work. Because why? You get the work. And I have the same argument about how the country is kept safe and what the security of the country is the same argument that Jack Nicholson I told you the last time I came on. The primary purpose of government, the first thing is to keep its people safe, and they must do that by whatever means necessary. All the means available and those that are not available. Whatever means. If it even means that some of it step on our constitutional right, we would rather be safe than cloak ourselves in a piece of paper that does not protect us. We want the Prime Minister who will blame for every damn thing. All the collective ills of our lives. It's being fought. Now, dinner tonight, him cause it. The light cut off, him cause it before mash up, and because of him. Hey, everything of him. Man hold me up, at him. Man rob me shop, at him. You want to blame him for everything. You want to hold him to account for everything to do with your life. But he must not be prime minister. He must just be a little man, a little boy, a little guy with West Central, St. Andrew, and then make him prime minister. And the whole of the believe he can come out and talk crap about him. And everybody want to get a piece of it. Don't do that, Carol Nancy. You're better than that. I know you. You're better than that. And whatever like political action grinding, cut it out. So that I won't get nobody anywhere. You can do like Dion Jackson Miller, who tweeted or something and put out something about Sarah, about the drill where Daz get him head bust up for. I'm talking about. Do that. You can put out something. I agree with Dion Jackson Miller. I do. On principle, I agree with her. Politically right now, but she must say it. I don't think them should release anything at all. But she must say it. No, all must say it. But stop behaving as if you don't believe that you have some point. Nobody vote for no can stand up to scrutiny. None can go down and one little place and ask people to vote for you. It is more safe to stay in the safety of one chair or behind one desk and chat anything you don't want to talk, because the real world and the real things out here that affect the real people, who don't care about that? We care about your position and what kind of influence your voice have. And I agree. People with journalistic skills and knowledge should, do that. Or I'm going to talk a little bit about the disinformation thing. If you want to stay with me. If I'm going too long and I don't want to go to bed, let me know and I will stop. Michelle, if them saying that the live, so I won't stop, just let me know now, please. So that's what I want to say. But I don't even know why I put it here, so that should have been at the beginning. But that's where it all stayed. And if Dennis Chung, don't make them unnerve you. Don't make none of them unnerve you and unravel you. The Services Commission must have seen something in you that they considered to be important and could serve the country while they gave it a work. Nobody gonna let we don't know by being a timid little mouse or being some kind of pencil pusher half idiot. We ask a question, better come out and big and banner answer it. Because that's what we want to know. All right, let's move on before we go. We're still going strong. Now, Mark Golding said the other day that the so-called opening of the center, the urban center in St. Thomas, he referred to it as a so-called opening. We talk about Michelle Charles down a class. I don't know how to do it, Donna Scott and Denise and Natalie, but sit down and watch this nasty looking, this insipid looking white Jewish British man a face up himself with a maroon black woman. She not have no class. You don't know the grading that is coming from his mouth. But something gripe him. And the thing that's griping him is pure and simple bad mind. I'm going to visit that right now. Now, many of you may have seen, have heard of the Count of Monte Cristo. It's a book. Was written by Alexander Dumas in sometime in the 1800s, maybe 1844 or thereabout. Alexander Dumas wrote that book. The first time that book became, it is a book about vengeance and betrayal and revenge. And it was made into a silent film in I believe 1911 or 1904 or thereabout, and then in 1980 it was made again into another silent film. Another film that was not silent. But the first time it was made into a film was a silent film. And it's a book. Now historically, the book is not really a real story. However, the story as it is told included some real events, like the role that some traitor played when Napoleon was exiled onto that island of Alba, I believe, that he was exiled on. And there are some historical events that are true, that are played out in the story of the Count of Monte Cristo. The story is about Edmond Dantes, who's a poor, ignorant young fellow. Can't read and write, can't use a sword, handsome as hell, just to have nothing. And in the 2004 version of the Count of Monte Cristo, my favorite version, starred Jim Caviezel. Now, Jim Caviezel was the guy who played Jesus in Passion of the Christ. So let me just put a face to that for you. If you watch Passion of the Christ, the Mel Gibson film, it was an Easter film some years ago. So Jim Caviezel starred as Edmond Dantes. And Guy Pearce, who I've never seen Guy Pearce in any movie unless he played the villain. So he played Ferdinand, the Count's son. Rich, privileged, snotty, nasty, and bad mind, and all the rest of it. And there's this girl, Mercedes. I don't remember her name, but she's some kind of Polish actress, I think. Dagmata, something. I can't pronounce her name. I don't remember. She don't come in a much movie. And in the 2000 version of The Count of Monte Cristo, Superman himself, Henry Cavill, played Albert, who was the Count's son, mix-up, belonged to Dantes. Now in the story, Edmond Dantes was framed by his very good friend, Ferdinand. Framed to light upon, got locked up, went to prison, to this prison on the island, met this priest who taught him to read and write, taught him how to use a sword. He escaped from prison, go and find the priest at the map of this lost gold or lost treasure, went and he found it, hired some men, turned himself into a count, and set about for his revenge against Ferdinand. And that's all the whole wrapped up of it. But here's the thing why it's so much about bad mind, and which is why I had to go watch it again in order to be able to tell you the story tonight. It was a bad mind thing, and that's what I reached Mark. In some scenes of the movie, like in one scene of the movie, one Christmas, Edmond got a whistle for Christmas. A whistle, a simple little note, something else put him out of his blow. He got him and Ferdinand closed and tight. But Ferdinand always bad mind Edmond, the rich count's son, bad mind the poor man who can't read and write and can't use a sword, which was criminal back in those days if you can't use a sword. Bad minding them, bad minding because Mercedes loved Edmond. Mercedes the prettiest girl in the town. And Edmond she loved, and Edmond loved she. And him had the count's son, and him rich and him arrogant and him full of shit, and him can't get Mercedes. In one scene, Edmond got the whistle for Christmas. And Ferdinand got a pony. Man got a pony for Christmas. And Edmond, father got him a whistle. And for the entire Christmas and going forward after that, he hate Edmond. Not for getting the whistle because he got a pony. Because at first you think in the movie that he hate him because him get the whistle and you start thinking maybe the whistle value something. No. His father got the whistle from the man we work for and he wrap it up and give it to his son for Christmas. And he hate Edmond from that day. Do you know why? He hated Edmond because Edmond was happy for his whistle and he was miserable for the pony that he got, which cost more money, which cost so much that it could feed Edmond and his family for maybe 3 years. And he never, and then, so the whistle thing and the Mercedes thing, he never ever forgave Edmond. And he found a way to frame him. And the rest is history. Edmond went to jail. Mercedes couldn't find him. Mercedes was pregnant when Edmond went to jail. She realized that at that time, I mean, this is the 1800s, and it could just be immediately after Edmund left, him Ferdinand started to quote her, and she not tell him that she's pregnant at the time, so he married her and him think that the boy is his, Albert. When Edmund came back, all hell broke loose, and Edmund came back for his vengeance and his revenge. It meant they don't never want the vengeance and the revenge. And at the end of the day, it basically left Ferdinand poor and pauperized. And he couldn't stand that. Instead, Edmund spare his life and tell him, go on, let us end this. Leave now. And him turn back and tell Edmund, say, him can't imagine living in a world where Edmund has everything and him have nothing. So I go to the sword fight and Edmund kill him. Natural end. Bad mind. Pure and simple bad mind. And that is what killing Mark Golding now. Him can't stand it. Him can't stand the success of what Mr. Holness is doing. Now the dust up between him and Michelle Charles at the setup of thing is simple. I don't know Michelle Charles. I don't know what kind of person she is. I don't know if she's a nice person or she's not. I don't know if she's a kind person. I really don't know. All right, Michelle, I think you're getting it, trying to get me on this one. And I just can't say what kind of person Michelle Charles is. But I recognize one thing, and one thing only. She's a black woman serving in our nation's parliament. And ragtag army. It didn't load up. All right. Yes, I get it. All right, I get it. The Financial Investigation Division. That's what FID stand for. So nobody should feel bad about it because I didn't know either. All right, so all right. I got you. I got it. All right, so I want you to hold that clip, Michelle, about the Duns PNP people them at the protests. When I'm talking, that the TVJ clip. Just hang on to it for a second, all right? People remember to share the video, like the video. You can also watch it over by Meta Views. Go over Meta Views, go watch it. Now, you can come off of my channel and go over Meta Views. I really, really want to go watch it at Meta Views. Michelle, do you have the 2019 film video of Fenton at the first soft opening of the center? Do you have it? Do you have it, Michelle? The part where you don't have it. All right. There was a video I sent it to you where Fenton Ferguson was at the launch, I believe, of that center there in St. Thomas. And he spoke eloquently and he said something to Michelle Charles or about Michelle Charles. And it was, gentlemanly, and they had a friendly banter at the time. He was still the member of parliament and she was the candidate. And they were both invited to the event. I hear a number of people making fun about ribbon cutting. People like Tina Timers, which I totally expected better from. The rest of them I do expect no better from them. Because Tina Timers went to school. And every time them say something stupid, you wonder why they went to school in the first place. To base in ribbon cutting. Because them leader tell them to do it. And this man, this white British man, raw, don't look good, chaka chaka, saying this black maroon woman don't have no class and don't know or don't have anybody inside the PNP to tell him. You can't say that. Not only because she's a black maroon woman, but she's also your colleague in the parliament that you sit as leader of the opposition and want to be prime minister in. And this is how you're talking to the woman. And talking, we shouldn't have no class. Shouldn't have no class like a dirty boy. When woman says she not give you nothing, you start going. Behaving just like a dirty boy. But woman says she not give you because you're soft dick. And they talk about she not have no class. That's how you sounded. Sounded like a beggar. And she spit by you and tell you say she not sleep with you. And they talk about she not have no class. And chat up your mouth at that so-called opening. So-called opening. And he spoke eloquently as to why he invited Fenton to represent him. And I want Rosha and Ryan and the people of St. Thomas to hear me and hear me good. He sent Fenton Ferguson because he has absolutely no regard for any of you. So I'm going to ask you to go out and vote for Ryan Hubert Williams. And I'm going to ask you to go out and vote for Rosha. But he has no regard for either Ryan. I mean, know him not like Rose. Me know him and Bunting and them not like Rosha. And she did it with them. And he never thought to himself that I'm going to ask Uno. Because he not want to go. Uno not cut it. Uno not film thing. He want to reward Fenton for standing with him. The two did support Lisa Hanna. Uno never support him. And Lisa Hanna only support. He might carry grievance sooner for that. And it wasn't. Wonderful to understand what I'm going. He have two candidates for two constituencies in St. Thomas. They're opening an urban center which is going to include Kentucky and Burger King and a whole heap of other things. And instead of sending the two candidates that he has, him sent the former member of parliament who's Canada 7 or 11 and had absolutely nothing to offer, nothing to say, no disrespect to Fenton Ferguson. But him send him because he don't count Uno. Him do a count Rose, him do a count Ryan, and do a count the people who going to vote for them either. Do a count none of Uno. And none of Uno don't have the gall to stand up for yourself. Neither Rose nor Ryan. Uno never thought it necessary. Let's say Uno can stand up for yourself. Let's say him can't tell you not what to do. Why don't he even go? Because Uno feel bad about it? Why don't he never go? Why Rose never go? Why Ryan never go? Why don't they never organize a crew of people and go down there? Go celebrate St. Thomas, the parish which you don't represent. We don't get it. It is lost on me totally. The two vie and a fight to go win seat to represent the people of St. Thomas. And we could go celebrate the people of St. Thomas about this wonderful thing that is happening in St. Thomas. And the whole of the PNP people then staying away from it. Behaving as if it's not theirs and it not have nothing to do with them because them white British Jewish leader tell them they're not forgot. I will listen. I don't wonder why we do what we do. We do not come out of chains yet. The whole of us still in chains. My job and whole heap of way out here. The whole of it by social media. The whole of it by YouTube. I fight this fight. Our job is to fight the fight that our foreparents couldn't fight. Our foreparents couldn't fight back. They couldn't fling stone and fling back a machete and bust up that somebody's head. We are doing it for them. While Uno sit down and try fight we. To try help everybody. To make you understand that this is a fight similar to the one of slavery. Uno defending and stand up beside a man who don't want to do a separate, celebrate something good. Something good. So the people of St. Thomas must go and vote for James Robertson and Michelle Charles. Why not? Why go vote for Uno? What reason do they have to vote for Uno? Because they want to get to the board God? A time for a change? What reason? What reason do they have? What are you telling them that they should do to support you, to vote for you? When you took away from them the chance of something great that they have been wanting for the longest of time, and you took it from them. You took it from them and they let you take it. And you continue to take it by degrading it. So-called opening of so-called center. How? How do you explain that to the voters? On the children, on the grandchildren. The place should have packed up the whole of St. Thomas. PNP and GLP mix up and a dance and a celebrate. Who are by Kentucky and Burger King down there? GLP alone? And the JP alone, about. You don't miss out on one of the greatest opportunity for the parish of St. Thomas. Missed out on continuously backing up this man. Who made you miss out on that? I can't believe it all now. It baffles me every day. While I could forgive Ryan, I don't get it with Rose. I don't get it. How can you go to voters, the two owner, and tell voters that why James not doing nothing, Michelle Charles not doing nothing. They never do this for you. They never build a road. You never get help with your house. You don't want some rice and peas on Sunday, you never get it. And that you gonna tell them? When them road come, and them center come, and Kentucky come, and Burger King come, and God knows TST might come too. Who to tell? What are you going to tell the voters of St. Thomas? That they must come and come vote for you. Because you want to change. And time come. That? Time come for what? Time come for Kentucky. Time come for Burger King. Time come for everything. RGDNIS. Time come for that. What do you think this is about? This is about some color or some party? This is not about development. This is not about people. It's not about people's lives. It's not about people being safe. It's not about people being comfortable. It's not about people driving from the hill and come down on the flat instead of heading to Kingston. It's not about that. It's not about hanging out at Kentucky till 3 in the morning.
What exactly the protest was about and the functions of the FID. You have a placard saying...
You find it. Just hold it a second. I want to go out there. I tell the people about so-called opening and so-called this and so-called that. Yes, please. Try to contact him, please. And this is not Michelle Charles. This is not Michelle Charles. Well, I believe that all that you have done is actually help Michelle Charles. Because up to a few months ago, Michelle Charles was basically down. I think that all that you have done now is help her up. And your explanation is about so-called opening and the woman have no class. No class, you say. This dirty white man I tell this woman that she have no class. I want to open a center. And all of the PNP people. How do I work for them people then? How do I work for win? Somehow, no? The dogs in the orange shirt. We're not going to work and beat down the place. I think that the St. Thomas people, them, the PNP St. Thomas bases where they come out for Uno. After Uno try to take away a little sick thing from them. It's like Uno don't care. What do you know? What's wrong with Uno? Uno don't care that the center is there, no matter who build it, no matter who open it, no matter who the dead. Uno for dead. Uno for dead. Uno behave like Michelle Charles come from St. Thomas, Rose come from St. Thomas, Ryan come from St. Thomas. And Uno make one little white man deny Uno the opportunity to be a part of this. After Uno spend so many years quarreling about it. But no, Uno going to stay home now and Uno going to quarrel more about it. But them invite Uno. Uno don't want progress. Maybe them just need to pop down the center and just take it up and carry go somewhere else. I'm not going to stay up there and poverty strict yourself. Because that's what I want. We don't want to get up every day and complain so we're poor. And we don't know water. We don't know forgot Kingston, forget my NIS card. We don't forgot all the way to Spanish Town or down a town, forget my birth certificate. Maybe them just take it up back. I'm not going to stay up there and complain continuously because that is on a life to complain. That Uno no have it and nobody now do it for Uno. And one day you have the good year factory up there and then now do nothing about it and then we put something out there we have to travel go all the way to Harborview for buy Kentucky by the time we reach back it cool. We have to warm because we get people kind cool. Maybe we ought to just take it up back. And we could just complain and living out of misery because we love that misery. Huh? I bet a couple of it out there so yesterday too. Count the no one campaign bout. That is why it's important for Jamaica. Michelle, you have to play the thing from the two idiot risers them will say them know them are, but then come to demonstrate about. Sorry, my darling.
Exactly the protest was about and the functions of the FID. You have a placard saying Dennis Chung and the FID. What do you know about the FID?
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
18 months later.
I don't know but you know, I'm here for a change.
He cannot lead the FID. He doesn't have the qualifications to lead the FID.
Why is it that? What do you understand about the agency itself?
I don't understand about the agency, but all I know is that the man only can account.
I know it was an organization that was formed to politicians to declare the assets true. Chung don't support it.
You sure that's the Integrity Commission though, not the FID. You just mentioned
6 or 1 after, I'm not sure, but that is it.
Why Chung must go?
Because he's not qualified.
Why do you say the agency is corrupt?
No, they don't investigate no crime. They investigating corruption.
Jamaica, the man over the Obeck channel love to talk about Jamaica. These here, Cliff, you said it, and I want to just back it up. These are the people who are going to vote to elect your next government. People who are beneath you. I mean, not take back my chat. People who are lesser qualified than you are going to be leading you because of these people. And you sit down somewhere. I don't know the two political parties, and I don't know, none of them is any better than anyone. And Ray, fine, whatever, man. Anybody want to win, yeah, man. Can't bother, yeah, man. And then one day you wake up and somebody tell you something, you say, what? That's your leader. That's a leader. You refuse to participate in the political process and you end up being ruled by your inferiors. Them dunce people there. We don't know nothing about FID. But left them yard and come and roll up on TV, come embarrass them picnic. Embarrass the poor people them. People go to school and say, remember that on TV. And the people go home and them say, I should remember that on TV. Oh, that idiot here, say the fool was shut up. Embarrassment to your community and to your people. Fine money from you know. We're going to tell me we have two more things, a couple more things, right? Now there is an argument going on around misinformation and disinformation. And I have two little things to say about that, if you will allow me very quickly. Misinformation and disinformation. During Trump's first term, by about 8 months into his term, all kind of things start come out about what Trump did and what happened, and everybody start write a book. Book like dirt. Michael Wolff wrote Fire and Fury, Bob Woodward wrote Rage, Susan Glazer and Peter Blaker wrote The Divider, Carol Lennon and Philip Rucker wrote I Alone Can Fix It, and then Bob Woodward and Costa wrote again Peril. Book like dirt. Everybody wrote a book about whatever Trump was doing. Now I pretty much have most of these books. And Peril is the one I've not read yet. I figured it'd be. I'm a summer reading list. Misinformation and disinformation. There are still a couple of mainstream media programs that Jamaicans listen to and believe and have respect for. Emily Shields and the next guy on Hotline. Not a program I watch. I have not listened to Hotline since Mrs. Gruden. And because Mrs. Gruden was a regular visitor to Tuesday, and every time I was keeping a seminar, she was a regular guest at our things. TVJ, CVM, and all of the mainstream media personalities who have YouTube channels. You know, remember she's and D and Jackson Miller, and then there is George and there is Cliff Hughes. Without a doubt, Cliff Hughes is the most trusted news source in mainstream media as we speak. People feel he's fair. People feel he's balanced. Sometimes I believe that if not, but people, that's not me, but other people feel, most people in the country feel that way. People are beginning to love George. I love George from a long time. Because George said all of them naked, I said all of them underwear. And it never seemed impressed. And it bothers me. It bothers me that George said him take off them clothes, them fancy clothes. As he said all of them naked underneath, and it never red face. It bothers me. But anyway, the whole argument about misinformation and disinformation is something that I need to straighten out some people about. The problem with the Gleaner, because it's them I talk about it, mostly. Them get the political parties to agree that they are going to do whatever it takes to curtail misinformation and disinformation. Why is that important for you to know? It's important because these mainstream media are threatened by the freedom of information and those who bring it. They are threatened and feel very afraid that we are not listening to them anymore. And their information is not all that we are consuming. We are barely looking at theirs, comment on it, beat it up, lick it down, browbeat it to the ground. And then we have our own source of information, be it disinformation or misinformation. And the framers of all the constitutions of all democracies in the world never considered this part. They were so hung up about democracy and leadership and all of that, that they never considered communication and how the world might be communicating in the future. Certainly not the framers of the US Constitution, certainly not the British either. And them still archaic in some ways. But their power in controlling the narrative and telling us what we should talk about and what we should say and how we should think about it is waning. Some of them power gone completely because them can't catch up with the times and them can't keep up with the times. We are way ahead of them in terms of information. And they don't want us to stay here. They want us to stay there. They want us to go back to where the Gleaner, the Star, the Observer, the TVJ, CVM, and then the people them on the radio. Them want to give us information, and we must suck that and keep that as information, and we should not question it. The problem with the Gleaner, why they get the two parties to agree to that, is that their information to us is disinformation and misinformation. We are catalyzing our own information based on our experiences and our research. So we don't have to listen to you. We don't not hear what nothing you have to say. You can continue to put out these little things we put out on the front page and you glean and put it on social media. And we go on there, comment and say what we have to say and say what we believe. Because what the framers of all the democracies of this world did not understand, that this time in 2025, there will be information that we can make up. That is what bothers us. We can take some information from there and here and over there so, and coin it into our own information. And that's what you call disinformation and misinformation. And now, in 2025, when there's an election, suddenly, it is a bother to you. Misinformation, disinformation. Oh, the mainstream media in the United States, them used to go cook over it. Because nobody spread propaganda and misinformation and disinformation like the Republicans and their groups. The Democrats do it too. But nobody was having a hard time because them couldn't keep up. Them on the mainstream news, CNN and MSNBC and CBS, all of them come on. And they give out what they think to be proper information. However, there's a group of people over in Alabama who don't believe a crap you say. And they have their own information. Jordan Klepper, who is a comedian, and one of his favorite things to do is go around and interview Trump supporters and ask them questions and get them to tie up themselves in all kind of thing. And one day, Jordan Klepper was talking to a group of Nazi-loving Trump supporters who don't like Jewish people and them don't like this and them don't like black people and them don't like brown people and everybody for go and them alone for exist. And Jordan Klepper said to them, sir, you don't like the Jews, no? So do you think Trump like the Jews? They said, no, he doesn't. He doesn't. He just says what he says because, you know, he's a president and, you know, and I'm going to lead some people. He want to win, and when they win, I'm going to deal with them case. And then Jordan Klepper said to them, so do you know who Ivanka Trump is? And said, yeah, she's Trump's daughter. She's beautiful, yeah? Yeah, and then go out and whoop her things. That is clip. It's funny. It's a funny thing. And then Jordan Klepper said to them, did you know that Trump's daughter Ivanka is Jewish? Let the man want to shoot him. No, that's not true. She's Trump's daughter. Trump is white. Trump's wife is white. She is white. She's a Christian. And Jordan Klepper said, well, she's married to a Jewish man. Who she married to? Jared Kushner. He's Jewish? Oh, no. I mean, the man is nearly mad. They're nearly mad. But guess what? At the end of that, them simple tell Jordan Klepper said, you're lying, not so. I don't believe you. They have no more information. It might be misinformation, it might be disinformation, but it's their information, and I live with that. So the problem with all of you news media talking about disinformation and misinformation is not that you believe that what we are saying is not true, or what we are spouting is not correct information. It's because we don't listen to you anymore. We don't want to hear crap from none of you. But I listen to quite a few of you. It makes sense, most of you. But that don't mean I'm going to run with that information. I seek my own information. I'm going to take whatever information that I get, and I'm going to make it my information that I'm going to put out. And I'm going to make sure it's the truth. And I'm going to make sure that in this election, going into this election, whether it be disinformation or misinformation, if it serves the purpose of what we are doing, that we're going to use. I mean, I tell you that. This, we can't begin to understand what a great task this is. Let me repeat it to you. This is like fighting slavery for our foreparents. But we have things at our disposal which they never have. They couldn't fight back. They never have social media. They couldn't fight back. They couldn't shut off their mouth. They may get killed. We get shut off our mouth. We have fight this second slavery revolution. We have fight it. Not to allow a British, Jewish, white man to come run our country. That we have fight. And unless you understand that, then I have nothing to say to you. Because of that we have fight. And your argument about misinformation and getting the two parties to sign off on misinformation and disinformation, that don't make sense to none of we. None of we don't make sense to me. But I thought I'll just make my 2 cents worth on it. Kind of make sense to none of we. And we don't care much about it. Also, them get the two parties to agree. Oh, I have never seen nothing of my life. That if you commit a crime or if you have a criminal record, it should not be an hindrance for you to serve in the parliament. Two parties agree. Politics is dynamic, you know. The two parties agree that if you're charged for murder or serve a sentence for murder, if you rob somebody, fraud somebody, defraud somebody and went to prison and come back from prison, serve your time, you can now run for political office and go sit in the parliament to represent people. Basically, the two parties have agreed that the lawbreakers can easily become lawmakers. That's a noble thought. It's a noble thing. But it is so easy for the two of them to agree to something like that. So easy. But they have not thought it through properly. We need to revisit it. We need to think it through properly. I am not saying that a man can go serve him time and come back and serve him country and serve him community. I'm not against that. But something right in here, sir. Just to sit right with me with the whole overall blanket thing. Because you're saying to me, then, what is the purpose of fighting then if we don't want Dayton can blame King Charles III Parliament as a serial pedophile? What is the purpose? We keep going then. You're saying to me that the rapist can serve him sentence and come back and come run for Parliament and elect him and let people pick the loose on him because no more power. Remember, rapists and pedophiles are psychological and emotional, and that's serious problems, you know. These are men with serious issues. The more power them have, is the more that impulses basically run amok. Rape has always been about power. Now it's not about sex, it's power. It's me bigger than you, stronger than you. It's never about rape and sexual abuse. It's never ever about sex. It's always about power. You have the money. You have the car. You have the power. Come here. You. Oh, Miss G, come look for you. I'm going to fix the roof for you. And your daughter that? Why she look nice? Which school she go to? Yeah, she all right? Anything I can do to help? It's power. So if you don't agree, when you just blanketly just sitting down among yourselves, I say, yeah, we agree. So you're agreeing, we need to think that through properly. You can't possibly be thinking that you're going to take a rapist and a pedophile and a child molester and give him power. And the very same people who have abused, you're going to ask them to vote for him. And them, they're going to vote for him with them. Whatever motivate them to vote for people. They put him in a parliament. Now you have a constituency of 22,000 people, 6,000 of which are underage picnic. And you give him a blank state, just give it. Give him all of the keys for that door. What I'm going to do here. They are the MP now. But they can't stop it from going away. We need to think this through. Something right about that. We need to think it through very carefully. When you're talking about lawbreakers becoming lawmakers, there ought to be some kind of parameters need to be set. You need to qualify, quantify it. What exactly do you mean? What you mean? Who can't be everybody? In some states in the United States, you lose your right to vote by just being incarcerated, which is wrong, really. You serve your sentence, you should come back, you should vote. You should be able to vote. Many people go prison and come back and run for office and serve. But them they're on a registry, which we don't have, which you know also discussing to set up. You can't have a situation where you just do that and decide that, you know, you make everybody go run for office. We need to give that some more thought. That don't sit well with me, and I'm not gonna make nice about it. Wholly nice. I'm gonna go out pure things. And as long as I can breathe. Michelle, we don't find Mr. B to give us that. Boy, things are running red from the video thing tonight at all. I don't understand it. Boy, I don't know. I'm gonna come back for the live. But for tonight, and I'll see you again for the next 2 weeks. I tell you. because I can't seem to be managing this thing and now go down. I told you I was going to talk a little bit more about the polls, but I'm going to leave that polls thing, not going too deeply in the polls. I just want to warn you about the polls. Not to talk about it, but a warning. And I'm going to leave that for last. So there's just one more thing before I'm going to that. One last matter. One last thing and then the last matter. All right? So, because Michelle can't find nothing. All right? Peter Phillips went to Parliament a couple weeks ago. He hadn't been for quite a while. And he said that the leader of the opposition and Comrade Paulwell convinced him to go to Parliament and make a presentation, which he did. And he went into the Parliament and put on a performance, gave a presentation that was nothing short of inspiring. And it is his last presentation to the Parliament as a parliamentarian, assuming, of course, that there's going to be an election this year. And he said that he was convinced to attend Parliament by Philip Paul. I never want to mess it up. I never want to muck it up. I didn't want to mix it up into any other thing that I'm talking about. So I decided to write it so that I don't go off, I don't veer off into anything else. He said he was convinced to attend Parliament by Philip Paulwell, and he added Mark Golden name to it. And I assume it is just to be gracious that Mark invited him to the Parliament and asked him to come. My guess in the matter is that Mark Golden calculated that Peter Phillips could give him a boost if he came to Parliament and did his presentation and big him up a little bit and give him a little boost. And at the time when he did it, I assume it about the same time in convincing to come out. Michelle, I'm trying to send you a message. I'm trying to get him to go to this ragtag group of people hanging out at the Euro Circle talking about them protesting. What Peter Phillips did in the Parliament was a masterclass of statesmanship and a genuine display of affection and camaraderie. He spoke about the friendships that he has built over the years, which he has totally enjoyed. The respect and the admiration that came from the government side of the aisle towards Peter Phillips on that day. A genuine show of appreciation for the decency and the gentlemanly behavior that he has displayed over the years in his public life, even in heated debates. The love and friendship that he has for them and they for him. I totally enjoyed listening to him. The poignancy and the deep display of patriotism in his shout out to Carl Samuda, who was absent. And that was quite something to witness. The snippets of stories and experiences, that he recalled could only have been recalled because they were truly great stories and truly great experiences that occurred under the shade of respectability and genuine connections. While the man who callously planned and orchestrated his untimely demise from public life publicly embarrassed him along with his right-hand man in the juggling, and public stage calling Peter Phillips boy and telling him to go away. That man, that white man, that white British Jewish man sat there looking pleased with himself that he got Peter Phillips to go to Parliament to give him a boost. The healthy laughter and the clear fondness that came from the other side of the aisle, while that British Jewish traitor sat there looking baffled and bewildered because he will never experience that which Peter Phillips was experiencing in that moment. The genuineness of it all was warm and the spectacular in all of its greatness. It was something to watch. If you have not seen it yet, go and watch it. I don't believe Mark Golding was expecting what Peter Phillips did. I don't believe he expected the kind responses from the government side of the aisle that Peter Phillips got. Then Peter Phillips launched into a masterclass of polite warfare when he boldly declared, Jamaica first. Jamaica first. Peter Phillips declared that. When he spoke about the country growing out of debt, when he patriotically echoed that the country must stay the course that it is on now, when he shut down the people, Mark Golding and his crew, coming with their ego trips to unravel the successes that we are experiencing now, which he himself, Peter Phillips, played a great role in happening. He opined that change is inevitable in all economies, but the fundamentals that he put in place under the leadership of Portia Simpson Miller, and since then, and has now succeeded under the leadership of Andrew Holness, Peter Phillips declared that those things must continue. He left the parliament in stitches and laughter and fondness. His memories shared with everyone. Memories that Mark Golding will never be able to share with anybody because he has absolutely no friends in parliament. He will never leave that parliament giving any such kind of speech. And finally, outside in the foyer of the parliament, he was asked, what is his advice to new parliamentarians? And he repeated, with every ounce of the patriot that he is, he repeated, they must put Jamaica first. I wonder how Mark Golding feel about that. Because Peter Phillips basically said in his final speech to our parliament, let us all choose Jamaica. Thank you, Dr. Peter Phillips. I thank you on behalf of the 25,000 subscribers on this channel and all the people who are watching, all the people who have watched. We thank you for your service. We thank you for your leadership. And we thank you for your patriotism. God bless you, sir. God bless you. God bless you. And ending that, I have to venture into, for the past couple of days that I have not been on social media. And as I said in my opening, sometimes it is all very overwhelming. It drains you, takes away a lot from you. And if you don't have the good sense to step out of it sometimes, get a breather, go read a book. I read 2 books. I was not on social media. And I rested. Did some things that I wanted to do. There were days when I wasn't feeling so great either. But it's all good. And in that, there were a host of PNP people sending me all kind of nonsense about all kinds of things. And one of the recurring nonsense that was being sent to me was how I am campaigning against Peter Phillips' son, Michael Phillips, and how I am campaigning for Damian Young. Now let me respond to all of you. Simple this. I promise you, as a woman of my word, I promise you very faithfully, and I want you to believe it. If and when I'm going to campaign for Damian Young, you will know. Because been a hide and do a medal. So you will know. All right? You will know. But in the meantime, Don't call me and text me and tell me no foolishness about what you think I'm doing, what you think I'm not doing. I'm my own big woman, you know. So I know that long time. So I'm my own big woman. Very much so. But when you say I am campaigning against Peter Phillips' son, that's a part that really gnawed me. Michael Phillips, the eldest son of Peter David Phillips, who owes his entire political career to his father, Peter David Phillips, could not have achieved any of what he achieved politically if he was the son of somebody named David Phillips that nobody knew. Everything he owes to his father. And I come from I don't know where I come from, but maybe it's what a reading and belief system that my mother pushing on me, because she always thought that I was going to be her one great hope. If only she could see her grandchildren, know she would have known better. It's still a lot of things. And I'm thinking that your father, Michael Phillips, treated the way that he was treated by Mark Golding and Peter Bunting and that whole crew. I still can't get it as to why it was so hard for you to defend your father. If there was ever a time that you felt, what could have stopped you? What could they have done to you if you're going to a meeting and say, yeah, you're not going to deal with my seat or to treat my father? You're a wicked, you're a traitor. You never had the courage to stand up for your father. Now him will forgive you because him is your father. I don't have to. I can't imagine a son watching father being beaten down by some lesser men than himself and never once stood up for your father. Never had the courage as a man, although you're a half man, man will beat you man. Your man will beat you man, so you're half man. So your lack of courage is a surprise to me, Michael Phillips. And Dr. Phillips know that. I have lots of respect for him and I do love him. But you, I'll never forgive you. Never forgive you. You never once stood up. So if I could hear one story, just one, saying, boy, Michael Phillips, get up now, me, you know. And Michael Phillips, go on, pan the man, you know. But your narrow political ambitions prevented you from standing up to the man, for the man that gave you everything that you have today and made you everything that you are. Your father, flesh and blood. And you couldn't stand, your mother would be disappointed in you. Minnie would be disappointed in you. Minnie was a Rasta woman, a principled Rasta woman. We know Minnie. We all got cars and with a PMP. Why we stop a Minnie? But we poor and so we eat lunch and trust lunch, which we never get, which we never the head pay for. You're a disgrace, Michael Phillips. So I don't know why you and your people then believe that I should not beat you up. And I should not campaign and support Damian Young for the JLP if I want to. As if you think anyone could stop me if I want to. You who never stood up for your father one time. Not one time. Just one time, man. One single time. In the Count of Monte Cristo. Even if the show never showed that Albert was Edmund's son, we would have known when they kidnapped Albert. They kidnapped Albert. And Ferdinand thought Albert was his son. But Ferdinand is a slimy coward. When them had Albert in the cave, Albert said to them, said, do your worst. Brave little fellow. Came from Edmund's blood. Stood up for his father. and said, do your worst and I'm telling you crap. And you couldn't stand for your father, and you worry about your political career and couldn't stand for your father. But then again, the father made a 360 turnaround and now out here a campaign with the man them. But from the beginning, you should have stood up for your father one time, just one dege time. Cuss them out. Tell them of some bad word. Go out with pure things. But no, your vice presidency. You want to be this and you want to be that, and you want to be leader. You've got to learn to lead your yard first. You've got to learn to lead your hand and your foot. Where you have a kick down and a beat man. You've got to learn to lead your dirty lifestyle of 6-7 women in your own constituency. Don't chat to me, boy. You can't chat to me. Don't speak to me about nothing and don't send your little dogs them out for me. Because I'm more PNP than the whole of you. Because you don't know what that mean. Me know what that mean. Me know what that mean. People ask me, why am I hanging on to this saying you're PNP? Because my PNP, I know what that mean. I know who I am. And should I decide that I'm going to campaign for a JLP candidate or 2 JLP candidates or even vote for Andrew Holness, I would not consider it voting for Andrew Holness. I would consider it voting for Jamaica. I would not consider if you're going to vote for your JLP candidate as a PNP, you're not a labor, right? You're a damn patriot. You have a responsibility to your country first before your party. And if you think that Mark Goldie should not get power in this country, then go vote for your JLP candidate. But you're not a labor, right, if you vote for your JLP candidate. You're a patriot. You're a Jamaican. True and true. And you don't give a damn about what color the shirt is. You're going to vote for Jamaica. According to the polls in the United States, 28% of people registered as Republicans voted for Kamala Harris. Wasn't enough, but that big thing is the first in the history. 28% of Republicans voted for her. And most of them went to the convention. They said it. They said, I'm not voting for the Democratic Party. And me voting for Kamala Harris don't mean I'm a Democrat. I'm a patriot. And you're worried about whether I am campaigning for Damien, the wonderful, handsome Damien Young, who's a better man than you. I lived in Northwest Manchester. You'll be having a hard time, I promise you. He's a better man than you. That's what you're worried about. You never stood up for your father. And you wonder why I don't like your ass. And just that. Nothing else. That and the fact that you're a woman beater. Those who are cloak you and cover you. And you're hanging out with men who love their wives. And none of them now beat them wives. And none of them don't need a court-appointed person to go look for them picnic. Except you're a scoundrel. You're Peter Phillips, somebody, you're a damn scoundrel. Don't send nobody out for me. Because you know something now back down. We're too old for free. Something now about back down. Life too short. Just not do anything and say anything more until it all comes to an end. Because it will, one day. But at the end of it all, I will know that I stood up for what was right, and what was good, and what was best for my family and my community and my country. And I will go to my sleep peacefully. And I will meet my Savior. And he will hug me. And he will tell me that you did what I asked you to. You did a good job. And I'll be all right with that. Don't send nobody out for me. Stay in your corner. The next person that called me about anything regarding that is not going to be pretty. Because as I said, everybody's suffering from some kind of mental health issues. Mine has gotten worse. So, any number can play at this point. Now, everybody celebrating about the polls. This is my final thing to you. It's a good thing. When anything happens, we should celebrate. We should celebrate about the rise as them failed farce of a protest. We should celebrate how them went out there to war without anything. Them are idiots. We should, them is like Seinfeld. Seinfeld was a show about nothing. Well, that was that, but that was a show about nothing. We should celebrate that. We should laugh off of them. We should take everything that they throw and throw it back right at them and put it into double dose and throw it back at them. We should continue to rain propaganda upon them, wrapped up in the truth. Because we don't tell a lie upon them. We should take the truth and rain propaganda upon them because of what they did to this country. Mark Golding's, the reasons why the PNP base didn't show up in 2024, and the reasons why the PNP base continued to stay home, and the reasons why they couldn't get them out. Yes, they're simple. Mark Golding confessed it. He boasted about it. We shoot out all of the pies just won them. You got that list. We shoot out all of the pies just won them. And it's that should know that has now placed him in the position that he now is in. We shoot out Lisa Hanna. And did shoot out Peter Phillips first. Then push out, shoot out Peter Phillips. Then shoot out Lisa Hanna. Them shoot out Philip Palwell. Them shoot out Luther Buchanan. Them shoot out Andre Hilton. Them shoot out Daniela Icklin. Them shoot out Colin Bell. Them shoot out Craig Oates. And Craig Oates is going to deliver for the JLP. Them shoot out Dr. Hall. Even Socrates that died the other day, them shoot out too. Them shoot out Coral Davis from Trojan Division. Give it to. And then a man. Then Carroll went down, joined the GLP, and win the PNP division down in Mount Industry. Them shoot out Ian Miles, them shoot out Garfield James. They took their PNP seats, won it for the GLP. James is now the candidate for Western Westmoreland, and chances are he's going to beat Ian Yates. That's it. The shoot out cool. So we're going to enjoy all of that. But let me remind you all that elections are about ballots in the boxes. People to the polls. Counting one by one. Not bluster. Not social media excitement. Not noise. The noise needed. The blustering is needed. All of it is needed. All of it combined together. Make up what we're doing. But keep focus. Don't rub and down and dig up on yourself about no polls. Because at the end of the day, it's the ballots in the boxes. So you have to take that poll out for a spin. And you have to use that poll to convince more people to be on your side. Abraham Lincoln said it. The only way to convince a man to be on your side is to first convince him that you're his true and genuine friend. The whole Jamaica know that Mark Golding is not a friend to nobody. So you got to take that and you have to carry it out there. And you have to remember that is one vote at a time, one person at a time. It's about convincing people about what is good for them, what is good for their families, what is good for their communities. It's about telling people who the other guys are, defining them in clear terms, not tell a lie on them. Tell them the truth about them. The truth is all they need to hear. Tell them exactly who they are and why this is the second revolution of freeing the slaves. This is the second round of 1838. This is the second round of Sam Sharp, War, and Christmas Morning. This is the second round of Nanny Fight with the British. This is the second round of pretty much everything we have been through as a people. This is it. There's no other time. It's this time. And right now, we are winning. The key is to continue winning. That's the key. To continue winning. To make sure that when the dust is settled, my grandson, your granddaughter, all of them, all the children in school, children in our community, they look at one come out the shop this evening to print pictures of dolphin and crab and toad in water and bring $30. $50 page. So come big and bright, print them off, talk about pen, ask me to pen. My pen is $60, show me have $30. I want her to have a good future. She asked me if she forget back change, but tell her she no children left. I tell her she owe me $200. You know, dear future. And then we want secure. I love those kids. As long as they make me laugh. It's come with $30 for something we told you, for something that costs her $230. She get what she need. She's going to school tomorrow. She will learn. She will thrive. And she will have a government that's going to back up everything that her parents want for her. And that is what we must concentrate on. So yeah, celebrate the poets, but don't lose sight. Do not lose sight. Do not get lost in the razzle-dazzle. If you get lost in the razzle-dazzle, you're going to miss some of the most important things. Believe me when I tell you, I know what I'm talking about. So, that's basically that. Anything else, Michelle? Because if there's nothing else, then we should call it a night. Michelle? All right. So, anybody have anything to say? Anybody calling on the phone? Nothing? I believe that I've covered everything that I wanted to cover. For a moment, during the whole thing, I thought we would never cover it all, but it looked like we did. All right? Mr. Dennis Chung, when do you work, sir? JPU.
Yes, good night.
One, girl.
You're going tonight, you know.
Thank you.
Yes, good night, everybody in the chat.
Yeah. Only here, JPU and Natalie, you know. Talk to Natalie, but you come from the program. Talk up, come from your program, talk, you know.
All right, so you want me to talk up a thing?
Talk up, man.
Look here, you see the man from the Cape Tattoo.
Damien Young.
If you're even about the man there is more deserving of backing than Mikhail. I'm not hide and talk. As Mikhail is actually back up with him father not one day. What a disgrace.
Disgraceful fellow.
So when man, the same people come trouble here?
Well, I want if I'm supporters them and them people never text me and call me and harass Princess. When them stop harass Princess, because I send somebody, I send two men to talk to the one who harass Princess. I said, don't talk to Princess. Because them think we're here. So, them not harass Princess no more.
So the one that the target don't talk to the man and mash up them heads, sir?
Them afraid, that's all. Just fear.
Don't go back, don't get.
Fear has taken a grip of them. them don't know what to do, my darling.
Don't go back, don't.
They must go back on that west. I'm going to look for Damien. I'm going to look for Damien. Him say I must come back and look for him. So I'm going to look for him. I promise him. I like to keep my promise.
Eh?
Yes. Me invite him to come back and look for him.
More you follow me go down a Central.
Central where?
Come down a Central.
Central where?
Central Manchester.
Oh God.
Remember Manchester, I'm come from them a Central. More you follow me go down here.
I will. I will.
Yeah.
I will follow you along a Central. And then we can probably go look for Mercat.
Yes, and we need to make a Trelawney. And we need to go to a Dayton constituency. Crystal Lee. You want to go look for she?
I think that Danny Lawrence must invite Crystal Lee over to Eastern Westmoreland to come tell the people them how to beat bad man out of Leighton.
Yes, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I know something I want to see. What the man name when it run as the third party candidate?
Where?
I mean the independent candidate. Peter Shan. Peter Shan can go over there too, you know.
We should find Peter Shan. We should find him. We should find him. We should find him and make a date of it.
Everybody didn't speak.
No, we should find Peter Shan and make a date of it. We, Peter Shan, Ola and Crystal, we just go there one day and make sure all the people know. Give them social beat up there. And you know I like Crystal Lee, so we should go there one day. Let's go tell them how this thing works.
Yes, for sure.
That's what we must do.
Yes, so I may have say a question. That Neil has been saying a lot about tourism lately. So what going over this? So because I don't understand why so much people can't go back at their yard.
Well, the people. Well, let's talk. For example, Wicca McNeil. Wicca McNeil always walking around behave like him is Michael Manley's son because it is rumored that he is. Well, I think him is. And as a result of that, he never ever took his job as member of parliament as being a serious one where me to service people. People used to complain because I have a lot of contact in Westmoreland, particularly in that constituency. Whole YO people who I still keep in touch with. And him is just arrogant and full of crap. And think that everybody must walk behind him and him think him is, and that just catch up with him after a while. He never thought it would have caught up with him, but it did. So here he is with that. Him can't go back. So Mercat can't go back at Central because Rhoda beat him again. That would be disgraceful. Him can't take it. He would have to go run and hide. If him go back there, she beat him. It would have been a disgraceful beating. So him can't go back there. So Dayton can't go back at Northwest St. Anne because he molests too much underage people and must set free. So there. There. That's it. That's it, my darling.
Lord have mercy, none of them can't go back nowhere.
Can't go back at them place.
I want to invite Tova and everybody. They want to invite it on JP. You want to come over there contact because a long time I look for no.
Yeah. Tova should go over there. Rhoda. I don't know Rhoda listen. You should go up on JP. You go talk to Natalie and Crystal. You need to go talk about how to beat the PNP candidate. What do you need to go talk?
There's nothing like a good victory story.
Yes. A political victory story. An unlikely one too. An unlikely one is always a good story. An unlikely political victory story is always a good story, yeah. And they should do it. I agree.
I like when you sum up the so-called, because them love to talk about so-called, the so-called protest and demonstration.
A bunting call it the farce of a protest.
I never know, say, him did have the nerve to take microphone out there talk.
In front of people. Yeah, the farce of a protest.
Don't him stand up there looking like a wannabe Peter Phillips.
But no, you see, all of them that was standing up there, they weren't focused on what they were supposed to do. Because they don't know what them, is just remember the prayer about the spirit of confusion? That was raining out there. Plus the labor rights, them really gave them a hard time. The laborers were brilliant out there yesterday. Never met no war with them, no fuss with them, but just really unraveled them. I mean, they were unraveled by the labor rights about there yesterday. It was a good thing. Peaceful and nice. That's the kind of thing we like in the country. But the labor rights must demand that Heather Robinson give them back them green card.
Lord of mercy. All right, well, them said they're hot at the back, right?
The seat of the victory.
Yes, make we talk again.
All right, darling. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, man. Have a good night, everybody.
You today. All right. Nobody is calling on the number. And that's it. That'll be great if there's no more. God, I can go now. So, thank you all so very much for joining me tonight. God bless you all, because I hope everybody's good, and I promise you that I hope I will be able to come on Thursday. I hope so. And Meta Views, I hope you will join me for come on. I'll let you know. I don't want to tell you and then don't. So, but I hope you'll join me on Meta Views on Thursday. Hopefully I'll have JPU and 411 join that program as well. You all stay safe now, all right? Then God bless you all, and do, please remember, keep our children safe. Good night, all.
What exactly the protest was about and the functions of the FID. You have a placard saying Dennis Chung and the FID. What do you know about the FID?
Well, I don't know. I don't know but you know, I'm here for a change.
He cannot lead the FID. He doesn't have the qualifications to lead the FID.
Why is it that? What do you understand about the agency itself?
I don't understand about the agency, but all I know is that the man only can account.
And no, it was an organization that was formed to politicians to declare their assets true. Chung don't support it.
You sure that's the Integrity Commission though, not the FID. You just mentioned
601 after, I'm not sure. But that is it.
Why Chung must go?
Because he's not qualified.
Why do you say the agency is corrupt?
No, they don't investigate no crime. They're investigating corruption.
We will not allow that to happen. This farce of a protest,